as Irene did leave Nongshim. But now, less shell-shocked, you could imagine. So we'll see whether they've got themselves back into gear as they look towards taking on T1. Jumping straight into the draft here. T1 will be on our blue side to start us off. And Cassante will be banned away from Dundun. An honest matchup towards the top side of the map. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, I'm very grateful. I love how 14.3, has anything changed, Cassante? Nope. Still incredibly strong. Honestly, I feel like from what we've seen of challenges and other regions, draft priorities haven't changed massively on the new patch.
Which is a bit of a shame, because I'd like people to stop picking Lucian. Smolder banned? What?
T1 have just said no fun allowed.
Wow, so it's not only the stats for Gumayushi, but also he's not allowed to play fun champions?
But it's like also denying Jiwoo, who obviously brought out the ADTF, and then also I feel like would be the sort of player who I could see bringing out the Smolder, and they just said no.
Well, let's find another champion that starts with A. That's Ariana.
Ariana, yeah.
Ariana. What a grand ban that they... oh, God.
But they left
We've started strong.
Senna open, potentially problematic.
Oh, but Lucian Melio is up and available, Orcs.
Please.
Lucian Melio is up and ready to be picked.
Just pick Varus. Varus is open.
Yeah, I think it
Varus.
sounds like a good one.
Maybe like Varus Nord, if you want to deny the Nord away, would make a lot of sense. But really just not Lucian.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah, you know, we can sort of rest easy on that one because had a bit too much of that last week of playing the Lucian Melio into Senna Nord and just losing repeatedly.
It was not a fun time. I'd actually recommend locking in the Varus as well, just so that T1 can't do any funny business where they actually just take it as, all right.
That's not a Varus.
It's not a Varus, but, you know, ult cooldown and some base AD, and that means Zeri is the best champion in the game once again. And this is her original lane partner, the very first one that we saw alongside Zeri when she debuted.
Shiv also being cheap helps a lot. It makes me wonder what T1 are going to bring out to pair up into this.
Lee Sin, obviously.
Lee Sin bot lane would be very fun, but this is probably going to own a...
Keria hasn't had his Lee Sin game yet.
Oh, true, yeah. Maybe this is the moment.
Ooh. It's the Hui coming out. So this could be going to Faker. Of course, it has been very popular.
I feel like every pick, but it's like, well, this could be Keria.
Yeah.
It probably, you know, we don't know. It probably not, but it could be.
We're not going to say where anything is going until it's the very end. Unless, like, if Aatrox was able to be locked in, I think that's definitely going to Zeus, but that's, like, the only thing.
Yeah, that's what they want us to think.
Well, true.
Yeah, the Hui and Senna already means you have such a long-range composition into the side of Nongshim, and obviously Zeri pretty short range in comparison.
Ooh, like this.
See the Tlia come out. Again, it did get those buffs, but in terms of range, you're really going to struggle to reach this Hui and Senna. So for the next rotation of picks, Nongshim really need a jungle that's going to help them close the distance. Lee Sin in a pinch can kind of kick people away and create space.
So I said that I like the Talia. I like it because I think it's very strong on this patch.
Yeah.
But that was, in my mind, I thought the carrier was playing both Lee Sin and Hui at the same time.
He could.
And the Hui is likely to be in the mid lane, which is not exactly the most fun for the Talia. You can't really abuse any dashes when Hui's just sort of wandering around painting things.
I feel like that game from Bulldog kind of started to show us the potential of Hui, especially when it came through. I think the champion is actually pretty obnoxious once you get to a certain point. You're just able to spam abilities at such a range, such a rate, very difficult to deal with. And bans starting to come through. Viego targeted, which, you know, honestly, I don't really feel like that is a pick that Nongshim necessarily need to run out their composition, but could just be about the matchup into the Lee Sin that they're more concerned about. And Rumble, which did get nerfed on 14.2, and we saw the nerfs definitely lower the prio, but not make that much of a difference overall.
Yeah, so Tahm Kench going to be banned away here. Always dangerous to throw bans towards Keria, because of course he could already be playing all three of these champions, and it's hard to know. A lot of flexibility. But still, we just wanted to get rid of two of the most popular center bottom lanes, which is the Tahm Kench and the Nautilus. Pick one away, ban the other, and that should be able to work out. The Maokai is still up and available unless Sylvie decides to lock it in here, and that would be the top 3 center lanes taken away, right? It's going to be the Sejuani instead, and so a tree is still possible, and so is an Ornn.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was Ornn and Maokai locked in, and then Keria could play actually all 4 of the champions.
Yeah, you could just anything. Literally anything. We'll see what they have to go for. Obviously, Senna 1, something we've seen be a really strong scaling lane, but still does have a lot of... You still have the pressure of the Senna. We obviously saw them demolish it when it was Bro who actually picked that lane, but really Zeri not going to have too much pressure. Not going to come out for Zeus in this situation.
And that is Keria just locking in the Ornn. And I have a feeling that that's what he's going to be playing. Does give us an idea of what this T1 composition looks like, which is Hui in the mid lane, Owners Lee Sin. Not going to have that stolen away by his support this time around, as no surprises that Dundun is heading towards the Jax. We saw its prevalence really skyrocket in Challenger this week as well. And so Dundun, of course, very happy to be on his Jax. We'll be locking that one in, but not exactly the easiest matchup, especially into Zeus' Gnar. Of course, the champion that he debuted on. He's played extraordinarily well his entire career. This is going to be a roughie, I could imagine, unless Dundun manages to get the upper hand.
Well, I think a big thing is the backup from the Sejuani. You know, if you can jump on top of the mini Gnar and quickly stack up the passive, you can definitely punish in that 2v2. But, you know, I feel like Nongshim have some decent engage options, but their composition really needs to close the distance. If you end up having T1 set up in position, they're going to have so much poke, so much range, a lot of disruption between like the Gnar, the Lee, and the Ornn. And if you don't close the gap, you're just going to lose every setup. So
yeah,
definitely important that they find angles in team fights to get on top of this backline. And also goes without saying that an early lead would do a lot of favors.
If this composition does play extraordinarily fast and loose and finds these engages, though, they do have a whole lot of tools in playing forward, right?
Yeah.
Going after things like a Nautilus or a Sejuani, both of them with non-committal engage options. And then the follow-up with the Jax, and then Zeri to clean everything up. I think that there is a possibility, compositionally, for them to take this. Whereas T1, they have, I mean, just so much longevity and range, and if they can keep Nongshim at arm's length, then they're just going to all die. It's going to be really, really rough. Let's jump into the Rift here for game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the very first game of this week and the final matches of round 1. We will really have an idea as to where all of our teams stand. Currently, T1 7-1 versus Nongshim at 2-6. So you don't need to be a genius to work out who the favorites are for this particular match.
It's T1, isn't it?
I think it is T1, yeah. Well done, Orc. Wow, he's getting better.
Took me a moment, but I got there in the end.
Sylvie going to get hit by the first ability. Faker really getting his eye in to start this one off, as Keria going to get pushed out of his jungle just a little bit here. It's going to smack the ward a little.
We are seeing the double Doran start for T1's bot lane, and the even more broken thing is that Ornn can just build the support item.
Oh, true. Just wanders back a little bit and makes a book.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Oh, Faker going to see what... Oh, does manage to hit that one. As Call Me going to be able to make use of the slight buffs here of the Taliyah. As this is Faker's 76th unique pick in the LCK. And so I guess my memory is all right. I believe that was the number that I went for.
Yeah, you did. You said 75. I thought you'd seen the graphic because we had the graphic earlier.
No. Just seem to remember there was a unique pick at Worlds last year and it was something around 75.
Spot on.
I think I was mainly lucky, but that's all right.
That's all you need to be. And, you know, I feel like Hui, because you can obviously use those rotations abilities, has a lot of power in the lane if he's kind of unchecked, but definitely can have issue if champs can get on top of him. I feel like really, though, you're looking to scale up in this pick. Once you get to, like, the later points of the game, 3-4 items. Monstrous champ. We all remember that like 15-minute game where it was just Quandon Freaks in the mid lane, not moving, trying to get the mid tower, and the siege impact is really powerful.
Whoa, Gumayusi already down extraordinarily low. Still going aggressive onto Peter though, understanding that he does have that range advantage. 7 wins in a row here for the center.
You want to show hit, you know?
Just saying, no, he's okay. Believe me, like this champion doesn't lose.
Yeah, it's only wins. Yes, you had to ban Flash and nearly died, but look at the stats.
Yeah, stats don't lie, Orcs. They never have.
People lie.
But we haven't had very much Zeri. As Faker is just killing Colmy, gets his flash in
that
1v1.
That would have just been a kill if he hadn't flashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so buffs to Talia, not looking like they're being enough to help out in this lane matchup. Faker, I feel like a big thing is that we obviously saw him at Worlds being a really strong lane presence. I feel like for the past, while before that, Faker was definitely an asset to his team, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't really down to like his laning presence. But I feel like since the most recent Worlds, his laning has just been on fire.
Oh, it's been absolutely ridiculous, yeah. And it's continuing to do so, as both mid laners going to be teleporting back, and Colmy now without his flash. Ona getting a bit frustrating here, as Sylvie is the one to lock down the Rift Scuttler, nailed it. Dundun with some control of the wave up here, as you can see, pushing it into Zeus, who's going to have a decently stacked wave heading towards that turret. We'll see whether that means anything for a bit of a trip up there for Ona.
Yeah, went to 12 HP, the Scuttle there, I believe, so close, but not quite able to get it. And you can see Nongshim is set on the map, so it looks like Ona might want to look towards that boss side Scuttle. They may be concerned about being contested on it.
Faker is just pressing Q a bunch of times at Colmy, and Colmy's losing a bunch of his health bar. That's what I'm seeing in this lane, basically over and over again.
That's kind of what Hui does, just in general.
Yeah, just QQs. As he's going to get flung back towards Colmy here, is now Ona finding Peter. Nice little hook there as the Permafrost is available. Sylvie going to flash on over as Ona has to flash his way out. They do invest the control ward here, but taking control of this bot side river, as Keria and Gumayusi are going to be pushing up into Jiwoo, who looks just fine underneath his turret right now. Nice play so far here for Nongshim. As Sylvie's coming down, Gumayusi could be in trouble. He tries to slink into the mist, but Sylvie's coming down. Let's see whether they can actually get on top of him. They dodge the snare, and Jiwoo, he's in range. Piercing Darkness comes down. That's the safeguard. Gumayushi's still alive. Ona as well. He's going to get hooked, and first blood goes to the Zeri. Bit of a disaster to start this one off towards the bottom side for T1, but Gumayusi does stay alive.
Don't think Nongshim are really picky in that situation. Yes, they wanted to get Guma, but the peel comes in and they just end up getting Ona instead. I think they'll take that in this situation.
It's especially good because Keria was beating Jiwoo in farm, so certainly good news as Peter going to find the hook. Good Bellows Breath there from Keria to absorb the CC.
Yeah, you can see Peter try to go for the auto minion.
Okay, that's a gnar into the wall, but there is a turret that's still getting aggressive onto Zeus. Throws some houses around, and Dundun is going to have to leave. Still, not going to be bullied here, as you can see. Good old Dundun.
Yeah, and I feel like in the bot lane... Oh
dear.
Some more.
If they can find Gumayusi here, he could just be dead. Hex Flash is going to come forward. Peter just looking to try and start this one off with an auto attack as Guma going to get lit on fire, and Jiwoo just dashing around. That's the kill, and two of them onto this bottom lane, and now Colmy's going to turn up, but Bjorn's able to get a kill back onto Peter. Threaded volley just not quite in the right position as Nongshim will start up the Drake as well.
And honestly, if Colmy hadn't come in, I feel like maybe Keria could have turned that one around, but the backups there, using the Talia's presence on the map really effectively. I'm going to get a replay of this play. Flash is in, and Keria actually does a decent job of blocking, but with no flash, Guma is just very overextended. Nice dodge there from Sylvie, and Jiwoo is just constantly doing damage. Lethal tempo stacked up. Ona was low from the previous play, and so he comes in to save his AD carry, but ends up going down in return.
This is like the best Peter has played all season, by the way. He is just hitting these hooks. And we're going to see in live, Sylvie's dead. Faker is definitely having a good time.
Yeah, that's Faker. He's been around for a while. Yeah, not sure how that... Sure, we got a replay to see how that situation arose, but not ideal for Hui to have this much, because we already saw him have a lot of lane pressure against Colmy. For him to also be getting a solo kill like that, not a good omen for Nongshim. No. But they still have that 3-0 Zeri.
They do. And 3-0 is definitely getting towards certification territory. Thankfully, we do have Wolf standing alongside. He can let us know whether this is, in fact, certification. As Ona is going to turn up, Dundun could be in trouble here. He is going to manage to flash, but it's not really going to work out. As a Hyper Proc going to be enough to do it there. As Zeus, he had Mega Gnar prepared as well. So that is a nice little kill towards that top side to give this Gnar as much advantage as possible.
Yeah, you can see Dundun tried what he could to create as much space as possible.
페이지
But,
방금
Aha,
페이지
just
풀은?
caught back and
페이지 필.
speeds himself up. Flash ult.
잡긴 했어. 다운 잡았어.
Cool guys, don't look at explosions.
Yeah. Knew the damage, able to get it down, and here Dundun really tries everything he can to create the distance. Even ensures that Ona kicks him towards the wall, but the damage is too big. Ends up going down. This Jack's not very tanky yet.
And enough CC there as well. Just get that little mini stun into the wall. Allows a little bit of extra damage to go down. And so Dundun, without Counter-Strike, of course, just not going to be able to survive. As Ona down here towards the bottom lane once again. Seismic Shove just barely missing onto Faker here.
Yep, and part of the concern right now is the fact that both T1 solo laners are ahead. And on top of that, yes, the bot lane is obviously dealing with a 3-0 Zeri, which isn't ideal, but the center Ornn just scales so well that I don't think they're too concerned now. But all in all, Nongshim been doing pretty solidly.
Okay, ulti is going to miss there from Faker, but if it had have hit, Tommy may have just been dead.
Yeah. A lot of damage available even this early for the Hui, so got to be really cautious in these situations.
Zeus turning Mega one more time. Looking forward to seeing what these team fights are going to look like as these two top laners head towards their first items. As Weaver's Wall comes in. All right, here's Peter, here's Jiwoo, and they decide they want to get some money from Faker. Peter might die, and he will. So Faker able to trade 1 for 1 here underneath his turret when all of the goons turned up.
Yeah, and it is the Zeri who gets the kill, so definitely who Nongshim want to be picking it up, but the amount of damage that Faker didn't return there, just kind of absurd. I like the set play from Nongshim.
Oh, Dundun was thinking about leap striking onto Zeus there.
I'm honestly shocked he didn't. That would have felt like a very Dundun move.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, that really did. It felt like a 2015 Worlds play, you know, where it's like, let's just stack everyone in the mid lane and try and kill Faker. By the way, isn't that's what you're supposed to do?
That's the strat. That's the plan.
You can understand why they did it though, because he was definitely the pressure point on their side. As Peter gets yet another flash. He's a man possessed today.
You know, I just realized that I was saying earlier how Ornn could just build a support item, but they kill double support items, so it's Senna who's building the support item.
Right, but he could have done it if Senna decided not to build one.
Yeah, he gets to build the normal items.
Yep.
So
you've been watching too much LEC, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's your issue. We don't do the farming center here.
Watching LEC because the time it's on as well is like so late for us, and I'm so tired and delirious. I'm just not sure what's going on.
That's what I felt.
Best way to watch it.
Watching the final, it was that was a fever dream. As they tried to chain CC him, but he managed to press 2 buttons before he died, and therefore almost 3 people died.
Yeah, that's part of the issue I'm seeing with Nongshim's composition's lack of range. If you have to get close to Hui to kill him, yeah, that can happen.
And also if you have to get close to each other to do stuff, that can happen. And that's it's a little bit of a worry, because this is feeling a little bit like a deathball composition on the side of Nongshim. And that's precisely what Hui really likes to deal with, especially if he doesn't need to be up close and personal. Second dragon, this game will be a Cloud. We have got a couple of the less pivotal dragons out of the way as far as souls are concerned, as most people would say. I'd personally say that Cloud Soul is the strongest.
Cloud Soul with Zeri?
Yeah, exactly. I'm often overruled, though. I do also really like Cloud Rift, because running fast is fun.
But we have to admit, okay, let's be honest, the current best Rift now is Infernal.
That's true.
The
Cinders are very... And also that gives you a bit of a taste of Cloud Soul as well, which I'm okay with. His movement speed is just the greatest.
I genuinely think they could have... Oh, well, it's Ocean. But I genuinely think they could have just given the Cinders nothing. There's no stats on them. And there's just a little speed boost. And I guarantee people still would have collected them. They would still zoom around the map, pick them up.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The Cinders, it could have just been Cloud Soul's effect, you know, is the Cinders, and it just gives you movement speed. You just go and pick them up. It'd kind of be like you were a disciplined priest in World of Warcraft in that patch where you'd be able to pick up the little feathers and you'd run fast.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even remember which expansion that was. I think it might have been Cataclysm. Can't remember. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You can play some down for your teammates as well.
Yeah, right? It was really cool.
It's like Bards. chimes, I guess.
True.
Not chimes, the, what's it called?
Meeps.
The hot cocoa? No, the hot
Oh, yeah, the hot cocoa. And when people don't pick that skin, I get very upset. And I think everyone knows that because I do actually vocalize it every time. As that's an hour into the wall. And Zay is going to throw out a boomerang. Dindin just getting abused under his turret. It's not very nice.
This lane's not going too hot.
Yeah, the turret is not very alive.
Yeah, struggling, especially 5 Void Grubs secured by T1. Definitely make it easier to take it down, but there is a 40 CS lead in the top lane.
That is pretty ridiculous. The Seismic Shove going to pull back Ona. Not going to be able to safeguard around here as there are rocks everywhere. Gumi should be able to come over and heal him back up again. And so Dindin just going to leave his turret for dead. This is, of course, the Dindin comfort zone. Getting crushed in lane as Jax.
Yep, and this is also the Zeus comfort zone, crushing your lane.
As Nah.
Yeah.
Both of these top laners just feeling absolutely fantastic about the game state. I imagine, Dindin would be okay with not being as far behind, but I also I just imagine that he's not phased, really. And he can just press tab and look at Jiwoo. 4-0 with his Static Shiv, has a Last Whisper now completed as well. And as long as you don't look at the Trinity Force that Zeus just built, you're going to be pretty happy.
5 plates taking top lane, and I believe all the gold picked up as well.
And 40 CS.
Yeah.
But Call Me is ahead by 10. So there we go. He's shoving a massive wave into Faker though, so he's going to be able to mitigate some of that advantage as Rift Herald going to be considered now. I don't think there's going to be too much of a contest here on the side of T1. Just going to let this one go over. A lot of vision control here for Nongshim, as they are aware of it. As you can see, there is a ward in the pit. T1 just not interested, yeah.
Even after the buffs to the driving capability, which is something, I feel like
maybe
to name names,
he's like
Harrier could have appreciated.
Absolutely. Although I did like his Around the World that he went for. As, all right, Ona going to get the mini stun into the wall here onto Call Me, who flashes immediately. Good Seismic Shove, and Ona is just taken down! Call Me outplays it beautifully! And now Faker, he's going to have to run as fast as he can, but the Weaver's Wall is going to come through, gets the flash, and Call Me has just ticked to online mode!
Absolutely on fire, completely outplays Ona there, and then even gets the flash from Faker as well. Might be looking for more.
Yeah, and this is the Bloodthirsty Peter. He turns around, never mind. Not the Bloodthirsty Peter, it's different Peter.
He's just sending a message.
He is. Wandering in to say hi, and then we'll leave.
Yep. But
he's congratulations on 900 games, bye-bye. I think that's what he did.
I think Ono honestly just felt like he'd go for that play, real slick, just slide in, get the combo, but Call Me ready, great use of the flash as well, and now, as much as we talked about T1 having a long range advantage, I feel like if Nongshim really start to get power in the carries, obviously the Jax is a bit of a lost cause at this point, but the Talia and Zeri are going to be major threats.
All right, Jiwoo just trying to scout out where people are. I think that was actually a huge turning point. I think you're exactly right. I think this, we may have a game. I can see it. It's on my hands somewhere. And Nongshim, they're going to have to keep the momentum moving forward, and they are still down by about 2,000 gold.
Yeah,
I'm looking into that top side of the map as far as that issue.
Well, you see, Dindin just picked up his Triforce, and so that now means he's... Oh, no, Zeus just picked up.
All right, there's a hook onto Carrier, but Carrier doesn't seem too bothered by it. Still going to have to flash to get himself out of the way, as that control ward will be the only prize that Nongshim are able to pick up outside of the Summoner spell.
A lot of Summoners being bait now. No flash on Faker, no flash on Carrier. Definitely sets up for a potential play here.
And it is Ocean Soul, so it's not the most fun as far as souls are concerned. Nice little snare, but good buffer, as Peter avoids some of Faker's damage. But T1 will gain some control of the river here, as there's the Weaver's Wall. Peter misses the hook, but it's still so much damage as everyone is just running over the rocks. But this fight is so broken up that Na able to grab one kill. Good fear from Faker as well, as he tries to keep himself alive, but the flash from Dindin is going to be there. But it's Ona that's taking matters into his own hands. Jiwoo gonna get Q'd to the face, and it's a triple kill for this man's Lee Sin. And Zeus is looking to hunt down his lane nemesis. Not going to be able to find the house there, but T1, they will find the dragon.
And it feels like the engage from Nongshim, the concept was pretty cool. Try to cut them off with the wall, but the execution wasn't quite there, and T1 refocused first, and Zeus just kind of came in. He is so strong right now. We can see they're attempting to cut off T1 here, but unfortunately the Q from Peter doesn't connect. Cormy doesn't actually catch Gumayusi on the side, and if you look, the 3-man knockup from Carrier also being hit by a lot of AoE damage from Faker, and Zeus just completely pummels the backline with the help of Ona. And while this was happening, Dunder was getting some work done, but it just wasn't enough in comparison. This Gnar is so much stronger than the Jax.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like you press tab and you're like, oh, that was what was happening top lane. Oh, dear. That's not really what you want to see. 50 CS in the lead and now 2-0-2. As Faker's just going to get thrown around like a ragdoll. Not very fair. Grasp with more going to come on through, but it's not going to do anything. And so Nongshim able to get one back, and they lose just one dragon, so not end of the world, I guess, but it's 5,000 gold. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Where did that happen?
You know that fight around Dragon?
Oh, yeah.
That.
Oh, that was 5,000 gold worth
well, they were already 2,000 gold up.
So 3,000, still 3,000 gold?
Yeah, well, one thing, they got the shutdown on the Zeri as well.
Ah,
I believe,
true.
one. And Faker just kind of caught wandering here. Not something you really do on Wei. As we said, great at a distance, but up close and personal isn't his forte.
No, and Peter being able to slink in through zero vision will be able to do that. As we're fighting again. All right, Carrier going to get permafrosted. Immediately does cleanse that one off. And now we're driving the Herald. And Peter puts it straight into the turret. Nicely done, gets a little bit of value. Oh goodness, that is not the dredge line that he was looking for. Still, the rest of his team is going to be there. Really good interrupt, so he doesn't get resonating struck. And Zeus now looking to try and move his way in here. Dawning Shadow locks down Dundun. And now Zeus, he's got the Mega Gnar up and available. Won't even need it to help lock down the kill onto Sylvie. And why do I feel like this game might be over, Orcs?
Yeah, because they're going towards Baron, and there's no jungle on the side of Nongshim, so I think there's a good chance it probably is there. Nongshim trying to fish for something, trying to find an angle, just not able to get enough, and then they end up overstepping. Zeus walking in just ends up being such a massive problem there. Colmy's trying to give it a go, but I don't think you have any hope here.
I don't think it's happening unless there is a little bit of a blunder. And you can see Nongshim, they're just going to try and get what they can. But look at this turret, it's so incredibly healthy. There are no minions, so they're not going to be able to get too much.
Yeah, and they get the cleanse, but they just end up kind of overcommitting, getting too close. Because, initially we have the Herald play, and then Peter opts to go in very dangerously. Oh.
Well, Colmy is going to find a Gnar, who's just going to wander around, hops the wall, gets a flash. Okay. Going to let him live for the moment, but he may not be as generous to the turret. As Colmy gets word that Peter's on his way in. He's like, I'm not going to miss this hook.
I mean, I think they need a bit more than those two. You can see Jiwoo coming along as well. Yeah. That seems like more an appropriate number to take down this Gnar.
I think they need as many as possible, as the Q is going to connect there onto Sylvie. And Ona follows him a very long way. Arctic Assault going to get him over. Yeah, go in. I reckon it's a good idea. Gets the ward over the wall. We'll know exactly what's going on. Over the base. Okay, Dundun has found a lot of friends that aren't very friendly. Colby! What a heroic play! Oh no! Cue the Celine Dion!
It honestly looked like Colmy just came flying out of the terrain.
I got it!
Camera angle we had just appeared out of nowhere to immediately die.
Yeah.
A good start for this game from Colmy. That play maybe not the one that we're looking for.
That's the first time I've seen something to rival that Alistair play, though. Just walking in front of the ace in the hole, the original hero of bottom lane. Colmy doing it in the same lane, just a little bit further up. As Baron Buff still in tow here, T1 will be able to take their first inhibitor. Might be able to find more as they push Jiwoo into the waiting arms of T1. And that's Ona that locks him down once again. Both deaths at the hands of the Lee Sin, but that one was pretty hand-delivered there by Zeus. And I don't think T1 are stopping. I think they're looking to try and finish this one off as once again Peter's going to find an unfortunate hook, but Ona is going to get into that backline. Great knock-up from Carrier as well as Dundun trying to get on top of Gumayusi, and there is the permafrost to try and help this one out. And T1 will get somewhat routed here, losing Gumayusi and Ona as they go a little bit overly aggressive. So T1 going to back off for the moment.
Yeah, so they managed to save the base, but still not in the greatest condition here. And yeah, I want to rewatch this. So, Colmy, I believe the angle the wall took, because I didn't initially see the wall, it looked like he just flew out of nowhere to eat the ult and everything else.
Yes. I could hear that my heart will go on the entire time.
A bit of a fail flash, but now we have a flank. They're just killing Faker. That's the game plan.
I think that is. And they may succeed. Permafrost not quite in range here as Sylvie is going to get slowed down momentarily. Dundun is probably going to die as Zeus is capable of ignoring everyone on the team, I guess. Maybe not Jiwoo, who does do a fair bit of work. And he's going to get flung around like a bit of a ragdoll, and there we go. So they lock down the Gnar. The Faker lives, I guess, this time around.
A lot of sacrifices in this game, you know?
Yes.
Teammates dying for each other, trying to keep their friends alive. And now Carrier's decided he wants to go top and handle Nongshim single-handedly, which kind of feels like a vibe he's had this game.
Yeah, and this season as well, I think.
I think that's safe to say.
Getting a few upgrades starting to come out here. Does need to get one more level to give them to his friends.
It's also, it's a bit of an annoying situation with, you know how obviously before, ornaments were always mythic items.
Yeah, now you have to make sure that your inventory is organized, like it was originally.
It's not even just that, there's also like, not every item can become a mythic.
Ah, there's a new list of mythicable items, yeah.
Ornamentable items.
Yes.
But like sometimes there's games where your team just don't have that many ornamental items, so you kind of just can't make a full set, you know, which is very sad for an Orn.
No, it is not great.
See if that situation arises here. I think they have a decent spread so far.
If you are playing Orn in solo queue, just make sure you have a URL to a list of all of the ornamentable items.
Yeah, post a PowerPoint when you get into the lobby.
Yeah.
That always goes well.
It always goes well, and it gets you on Reddit almost every time, which is fantastic.
That's the goal.
You always need that. Or on Pabu's Twitter, which is also fantastic. Either of those, something certainly worth writing home.
Dundun's gone for the anathemas.
I don't blame him. He needs all the help
That is a true sign that lane has gone.
All right. This could also be a little bit of a worry. Is Gumayusi going to get pulled back right into the open arms of Peter's anchor? Does an anchor have arms? I guess, sort of. There's two things coming off the sides at the bottom. I guess it makes sense. And Nongshim able to get a swift little pick off onto the center. Nicely done.
And I like that even as this game has felt more and more doomed for Nongshim, they've never kind of given up, and they're still looking for these picks. You know, if they get...
Oh, Ona's on a ward here as well. As the hook is going to connect there from Peter this time around. They're trying to burst him down, but there's a lot of damage coming through. Oh my god. Okay, tries to take the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike, and there is a burst fire in his face. Oh my god, Faker's damage is absurd.
Yeah, he's kind of hit that point where he's a problem. Speaking of problems...
That's through anathemas. Unless Dundun put it on someone else.
If he put it on someone else, then he is a braver man than I.
Yes.
I tell you. If I'm in that lane matchup right now, I know who my anathemas is going to be on.
Yes.
And I ain't changing it for anything.
All right, Colmy moving on up, seeing whether he can grab Carrier here. Walks over that control ward. Is the Bellows Breath going to be in hand? No, it's not.
Yeah, he definitely takes damage.
He just does not care.
Yeah, he really takes a lot. Oh, and now his Jack Show is stuck? Yeah, really a lot of damage there.
He wanted to walk back to his minion wave anyway, I guess.
Yep.
Huh. All right. So, pretty tanky. Relatively tanky.
Yeah, somewhat, rather.
Yeah.
Ways to describe his tankiness.
All right. Faker just going to be creating mini equalizers all over the place, although kind of bigger than an equalizer. Just doesn't quite do...
wider than an equalizer.
Yeah. Doesn't quite do the damage, I guess. Although... He does have 3 items and 8 stacks on his Dark Seal, so maybe it does.
It still does quite a bit. We are seeing the Ornament Live come out, the upgraded Triforce coming through.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a Baron.
The Infinity
Baron
Force.
on Vision.
Well, that's one way to do it. Dundun is also on Vision, trying to take down this outer turret on the bottom side of the map. It looks like Nongshim are opting in for an attempted play on this as the Weaver's Wall does come down. That is Ona locking down the Baron, but can they find the team fight is the question. Oh no, Dundun dives over and delivers a bit of the ultimate to Peter, and Dundun's very much dead. Oh, Dawning Shadow, that's going to lock it down, but actually Faker had the kill in his back pocket anyway. Zeus going to be held at bay for the minute, but they got themselves the Baron. They also got themselves a kill. And now T1 are going to look to re-destroy this mid lane inhibitor.
And honestly, I think Sylvie kind of misplayed a bit there. Had an opportunity to get into the pit and didn't take it, was waiting, and as a result got kicked away from Iona. So I think there was a chance to at least open up the possibility for steal, but it's still hard. It's hard to do against Lee Sin. Hard to make the decision to go into the pit when you know T1 are very patient. Setting up Baron health, and very close one there.
And this is, like, the sieging power of a Hui is just It's just really not fair. It's okay, ulti comes down onto Peter, who tries to get himself to relative safe. It's not safe. There's nothing safe about it.
Wow.
If you're within a screen of this way, you are dead.
A screen? I think perhaps a little bit
two
more.
screens?
Maybe
two
two and a half?
screens. If you're on the Rift and Faker's way is here, then you're dead.
Get back in the fountain if you want to live.
Yeah, and even then, I don't know. I don't know whether you'll be safe. As Dundon looking to try and get Zeus out of here, but that's what he's been trying to do all game, and it hasn't really been working out. They are starting a little bit of a battle. Nice grasping more there from Faker to pull them together, and these health bars are just evaporating. There goes Sylvie. That's going to be their first one. Crypt Bloom going off as the seismic shove goes completely wide. And Zeus trying to charge up the Gnar. He does manage to get in this, the Gnar at the same time. And in the meantime,
actively playing. Yep. Everyone else is either active playing in the LCK or LPL for Ruler. So,
yeah,
cool.
True. It's kind of nutty. Faker, I don't think he's going to have to retire before anyone ever gets to any of his records. He just makes milestone after milestone after milestone and makes it very difficult for anyone to ever catch up. And hopefully he never quits, just so that we can just... I'm looking forward to celebrating, you know, his 6,000th kill and his 2,000th game. Isn't it? It's just going to be great.
We'll be old men, he'll be an old man.
Yeah.
You know, good times.
Well, Aatrox, oh well, I'm already an old man. Aatrox and Orianna already banned away, and Senna and Lucian, just the entire couple, just removed.
Yeah, so same bans for Nongshim as they had on the red side, but T1 have opted to ban the Lucian instead. The Senna themselves, so Cassante, TF, Smolder was what they banned last time, and those have been left open. And, you know, I said I wanted them to get a really stable matchup for Dundun. The problem was they were on red side, and they ended up in a matchup which went really badly. Now T1 are on red side, and they will have counter pick, so Tenji could be a rough one. We do see the Nautilus banned away, which, considering Peter's performance last game, I think was a good call. He had a really strong game, but that means that all those picks they banned last time are open and available.
Smolder.
Will we see Nongshim pick any of them up?
Smolder!
And the answer is yes!
There we go.
Immediate Smolder lock, which we assume is going bot, but, you know, could go mid, could go top if we're getting really wacky, but probably bot lane.
Yeah, I'd like to see it somewhere not bot lane. Twisted Fate, the consideration here, of course. Three-way flex as well. Can be all over the place.
Well,
so
carriers on this team, four-way
flex. Five-way flex? I had a friend of mine that used to play jungle TF.
Yeah, why not?
It's pretty, you walk into lane with a gold card and you click on people.
That is a pretty effective strategy.
It works.
Works till it doesn't.
Yeah. He doesn't clear the jungle very well.
No.
As that is Melio locked in. So we have confirmation that it's not likely to be Carrier playing the Twisted Fate. So a three-way flex once again.
Yeah. And looking towards the Vi, I really like the Vi, honestly. It's something we've seen often frequently banned. It's second rotation. But playing into the Melio, you know that like a Sejuani or a Maokai just kind of won't cut it in terms of the fact that he has that cleanse ability. Vi gives you that reliable lockdown. So do like the pickup for the side of Nongshim. Now, they know they're in the Melio, so they could just take support here. But looking in a different direction, potentially.
Huh. That would be a champion choice. A few different things here, but call me going, oh, is it the dragon? Are we doing double dragon?
Oh my god, they could have a Shyvana's? No.
Oh, imagine it. We could have triple dragon. Instead, we have...
What bonus do you get
Wall
for
Lady.
TFT, triple dragon?
I don't remember. That set was so long ago.
It was
a very long.
You don't remember.
Yeah, it was, what was it, Dragon Mancer or something like that?
Like that.
And it was not very good.
Wow.
I seem to remember it not being very good.
But anyway, moving on to today.
Lord Dog, if you're watching, can you just let us know what the dragon thing did? That would be great.
Formi had a really good Talia game in the early levels, so picking that one again makes a lot of sense. The Rel, though, likely going to the jungle, definitely a pick we've seen have a lot of success with that A engage potential. And now, targeting the Cassante, and this is a bit of that concern, because they have counter pick for Zeus.
Yep.
They can ban away stable blinds from Dundun, and then he has to pick something to go into Zeus again.
And they have still a lot of flexibility. A lot of people could be playing the Twisted Fate. So
They
can hold that flex for forever.
It could be a TF top lane, you know? It could be a TF mid, which means the TF is going to come top lane. A lot of options.
Yeah, I think, if TF is mid, then TF is, I guess, bot lane and top lane and jungle.
Wherever he wants to be.
Well, a Yuumi ban does come in there. Of course, Peter was one of our premier Yuumi players back in the day.
I wouldn't have expected it, but maybe a pairing with a Smolder that they think could be threatening. especially in the Emilio, who doesn't have the most lane pressure. Like, bear in mind, Smolder is just going to scale, and not just because he's a dragon.
Yep.
So, you know, if you were to be able to get away with playing Smolder Yuumi, you would be very problematic later on. Camille ban coming out from Nongshim, interestingly enough.
That's a Karma. She has been slightly nerfed on this patch.
But they did buff Malignance early game, so it kind of compensates.
Ooh, true.
Also a flex, so who really knows where anything is going on the side of T1, apart from the Rel and the Milio, if they do lock this in.
Yeah,
probably mid. I would wager it's mid, and the TF is probably bot, but I don't think that one's really cemented, but we'll see.
Yeah, now we theoretically have a lot of things that can go everywhere.
You know, I think the Udi is probably the one.
It feels the least problematic.
Yeah, you know, just lock that in, build tank, hope the Zeus leaves you alone.
Yeah.
That can be a pretty good game plan. As for the support pick,
I wouldn't mind something a little bit more aggressive. I would have liked Karma actually in the bottom lane.
It's difficult to really...
Okay.
Oh, this is definitely aggressive. Less so.
Yeah, I'd like the Blitz idea.
I feel like, you know, you just don't have... Even with the Blitz, like, I don't think Smolder has, like, insane kill power bot lane. The Ricard obviously something that does scale up well into team fight, so I think it makes sense. A lot of late engage between the Vi and the Ricard. And now, finally, we're going to get some answers with T1.
Yeah, where is stuff going, guys?
Yeah,
that's a Yone. I guess we don't know.
Top Yone, mid Karma, 80 carry TF makes the most sense in my mind.
Yone Emilio is a pretty strong bottom lane though, so I'm still a little bit in two minds as to where things are going.
Sure.
Have you seen the Karma Emilio lanes as well?
That sounds obnoxious.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very fun to play against, but to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I'm expecting that it's going to be Ona playing that. Yone, though, got Grimyushi on the Twisted Fate, and then Faker is going to be playing the Karma, something that he has played many, many times to a lot of people's chagrin in the past when she was just another support in the mid lane. This will be a little bit more damage this time around.
So I think ultimately you have a hopefully more stable lane for Dundun. You have a very strong scaling Jiwoo, but the TF, I just feel like the problem is T1's composition, if they get ahead of the curve, is such an issue. The Karma is a pick that first time spikes so hard, and the TF just gets free gold. You know, I know TF always gets free gold from farming, but now you can crit with your passive, so you get even more free gold. So it's just money galore.
Yeah.
TF pick. And with like Static Shiv being 2,700 gold, very easy to just get a ton of items, do a lot of damage, stun card people. And, you know, he has the extra range increase from the Milio as well.
Yeah, which means gold cards can sort of fly from everywhere, red cards from everywhere.
If he gets a rapid fire cannon and that, and he's just launching it from like...
Who needs a way, you know, when you've got Twisted Fate, I guess? But Nongshim, certainly still some stability here. Very similar idea with the composition, except having a little bit of added range and Elder Dragon. Once you hit 225 stacks, we'll have to see whether it works out as our first Smolder makes his way onto the Rift.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
And I do want to point out, Ox, that it's a little sad that Faker's 900th game is Karma.
Yeah.
It's not...
What would you have wanted to see?
Rise.
Yeah?
I think it's probably... I think Rise is the most...
throwback?
Yeah. Ooh, but he does do first damages.
Yeah. It's the main thing. A lot of focus on the Smolder. It's going to be Doran's Ring start, and we have seen the strat has been put 3 points in W. Helps you just to thin out the wave, helps to deal with your weak early game. And the aim of the pick is scaling, you know. 225 stacks is when your Q just becomes one of the best abilities in the game. And you get stacks for, like most stacking champions, a variety of things.
Yeah.
Last hit minions is the big one. Hitting champions with your Q, I believe, as well. Stack Central.
The Super Duper Fire Breath or whatever it's called. Do you want
to tell all the viewers all the names of
I don't really want to, because
his abilities?
His ultimate ability is spelt wrong, Orcs.
Oh yeah, it's spelled in the...
It's Moom. What is Moom? What does that mean? Because it's obviously not Mom, because that's spelt with a U.
Yeah.
So I'm very confused.
Yeah, I was lost on that one too.
Yeah, very.
Maybe it's like a. Is he part cow? Is that like a?
Ah, and they wanted it to be palindromic.
Yeah,
it does. Sense. That makes the most. Okay, now it's all coming together. But I don't really understand the Ultimate's name. Is Smolder the first champion that just always has a runny nose? Because his W is called a chew, and so he just sneezes all the time, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other actively sneezing champions.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, I say that. I've definitely had some champions sneeze on me, and I just get one.
It is dangerous.
Yeah, you when definitely your enemy had a game where there's like a Fed Talon, and he just sneezes. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, my whole team's dead. Okay, cool.
When Talon sneezes, though, shurikens come out. So
yeah.
I don't understand.
That must hit your sinuses.
Yeah, it certainly must. You can see why he continues to sneeze afterwards. I don't think it does help him out at all.
Yeah, not too much of a reprieve in that situation.
Speaking of reprieve, yeah, Nongshim not having much of that in this bottom lane either. As you can see, Gumayusi just continuing to rain cards down on them. Faker going to avoid all of the threaded volley, as Colmy not quite able to find too much there. And he's been pretty good, Faker, at choosing champions that don't do dashing into this Talia. And Colmy has not really found as much value as he would like.
Yeah, I think he does have a decent amount here into Yone and Rel, but definitely not as much in the lane matchup. Just basically there to wave clear. That blob looks so...
Yeah, the fact that the ability is called a chew as well is a bit of a problem there, isn't it?
Just
Chew gonna get kicked back.
It also like hangs in the air. Like it looks like TF just gets like caught and it's suspended in this knot bubble.
I just prefer not to think about it. As Faker and Colmy continue to throw abilities around, and Sylvie going to make his way towards his top lane. Zeus, about 500 health.
Senses it because he had his Q stacked up and he didn't opt to Q in, which I think is greater restraint than I've seen most Yones.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it outside of an LCK game. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, normally, even if they're not queuing forwards, they just
is Colmy just dead? Well, he's not going to flash just yet, as he's able to wait for the Shattering Strike to potentially be launched, and so therefore they're not going to go for it. Peter going to get hit by a stacked deck a few times, and there is a red card as well from Gumayusi just for some added damage.
Low on mana. Wait, did they see the Lee there?
Well, they definitely didn't see a Lee, because there's none of those in the game. But the Vi may have been... Okay, Dundun, if you solo kill, I am going to lose my mind. Okay, Zeus down to sub 100. Ona in the area, and Dundun not going to get baited. It's just not that guy. Not going to see red this time around.
Yeah, good read. I feel like both the bot lane of T1 and top lane of Nongshim both having good reads there and just avoiding overstepping when they suspect the jungler could be nearby. But honestly, Dundun, the lane's got a lot better, you know?
Yeah.
All he had to do was pick Udyr. That was the solution.
It's gorgeous. Absolutely fantastic. And he's going to teleport back to lane, and does, of course, still have his ghost and things like that. But Zeus still with flash, and hasn't opted for a back just yet.
You know, and Dundun can actually just kind of stall out his recall if he sends the Phoenix at him like that, yeah. And
Zeus is just going to have to deal with it.
You know, I mean... Sylvie's so far away. I'm not sure how long for Colmy 6, but if Zeus doesn't end up getting a reset soon, I think he's going to get it now. Could be a very easy dive setup there. Oh, they're looking for it again, but Sylvie's standing by.
Yeah, Colmy going to once again be put on a leash here, as Threaded Volley not going to really find the target, but now Ona could be in trouble. Shattering Strike, double value there as he gets flung back into the rocks, and there's the knock-up. First blood to Sylvie, and it's elementary here for Nongshim.
Yeah, disrespectful from Ona not to flash the seismic shove there. I think you have to do so. The CC layering comes in, and Ona ends up going down. Good roam up from Peter, and solid read from Sylvie on the play.
Really nicely done, and now Sylvie can actually transition towards his top side. Zeus is... Well, he teleported back, but now he's down very low again, but has thrown the ultimate out. Dundun just going to boop him a little bit and run away. Very Udyr of him.
Yeah, I saw the health Zeus was on, and I was like, wait, he has reset, and he's back to that health already. Oh, Colmy in trouble.
He certainly is. Does have flash, is going to elect not to use it here, as Faker just needs to hit a Q as the Weaver's Wall, and then he's dead. Don't know how that ever was going to work.
You have to try, you know? You have to
give
try
it
and
a
be
crack.
optimistic with it. Maybe could have flashed away and then gone for the Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe utilizing Flash in some capacity may have helped him.
Yeah, I think, you know, that period where Talia kind of like stands still and revs up the wall.
Yeah.
Not the best at that HP.
No, especially not in full vision and auto attack range of a Karma. Because her Q's quite wide. Dundun going to be a bit annoying here as Owner is just going to smite away.
Yeah, only
the last grub.
Only manages to be annoying and nothing really else with Owner just securing that one. And you know, it's only 1-on-1 in the kill score, but I feel like we've had a decent amount of action in this game. And Nongshim, again, solid early start.
Not doing too bad. Looks like it's going to be Essence Reaver start here as well for the Smolderers. Let me check out this gank once again as Sylvie just turns it onto Owner there, and this is the seismic shove you were talking about.
Yeah, have to be flashed. Layering comes in, missed the opportunity to get out of it, and does go down here. Call me. Oh.
Okay, Sylvie is looking for Zeus. They're going to have to stand on the Soul. Zeus, I think, knows what the situation is. And there he goes. Cease and desist. Just held on to until after he had to return.
Yeah, there's just no outplaying that. Does manage to clear the wave up a bit, which is something. And it looks like T1 could go for the Dragon on the other side. So not a total loss for their side, but...
The money is moving in favor of Nongshim, though. As we can see at the top of your screen, about 200 gold. And look at this huge wave that Zeus is not going to be able to get to. No cannon is here. And you know, that should be plates.
It's only early on so far, so it's not that much of a factor. But you always have to think about, you know, if T1 are even, they're also getting the extra gold from the Twisted Fate passive. So you should expect them to be ahead just as a result of that alone. So the fact that Nongshim have a lead really is significant here.
Well, Peter is just trying not to give himself up, but is going to be found. Grand Entrance is going to come through. There's the Battle Dance. Is now Destiny flying into this mid lane. Call Me slowed down as the gold card is going to come through, and that means Call Me has to flash, gets himself out of the way. The newly constructed static shiv there for Gumayushi going to mean that that did a fair bit of damage, but Call Me finally pressing his flash button.
Yeah, meanwhile, though, Jiwoo just kind of farming down bot, doing completely fine. A little bit of poke on Guma, and 50 stacks achieved.
Oh, there we go.
175 to go.
Well, I was told by my friends in the chat for Challenger that you at 25 minutes you want to be getting towards the 225 stacks. That's sort of idyllic.
Yeah.
Is the theory.
Well, that's what we're looking out for.
Yep. See whether we can get there by then. That's, of course, where your Q turns into an Elder Dragon.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of funky builds with the Smolder. Like, there's this, like... I
like the AP one.
Yeah, they're like Shojin, Riftmaker, Liandry. Not in that order, but those items is pretty good.
I think it actually is in that order.
Maybe it is.
I think so. I feel like you do really want Liandry's, but I think that the other two are just a little bit more important. Zeus is once again going to have to flash this time. Try and get out of the way. Vault Breaker does come through, and Call Me puts a wall down and is just not going to be able to participate in this particular battle. Sylvie makes it out without dying to the turret. And Dundun's having a much better time this game.
Yeah, and Sylvie honestly having such a strong performance so far, just able to really punish Zeus on this Yone pick with the backup of the Zudia. So jungle top going much better for Nongshim. And again, you've got this scaling Smolders, so you're kind of fine.
Yeah. Absolutely chilling. And I think if they can get Jiwoo to these stack numbers with a slight advantage like this, it is just massive for Nongshim. As Owner looking to clear out some vision, but he'll still get knocked up here by Peter. Does have level 6, but doesn't have anyone in the area to try and do some damage. And Sylvie, he's rampaging around the rift. Call Me's throwing some rocks around, and Faker is able to speed himself up with the Inspire, so he'll be fine. He is going to take the Vi for a walk, and he is going to take a lot of damage. And yes, Karma was nerfed, guys.
Yeah.
She also doesn't have an item yet. Gold card does connect. Fire kick there to just send Peter the message.
Yeah, and playing Rakan into Twisted Fate isn't a fun time. Rakan generally just really doesn't like point-and-click CC, and TF definitely a champion with point-and-click CC.
He does have that, yes. You barely even need to point, you just really need to click. As Dundun does the whole walking away from them strategy to avoid the gank, and then walks back again, and now is even more fine. This game is really going well.
Yeah.
For Nongshim.
It's honestly, it's going pretty solid so far, but you know, I feel like they've been at this point before, and things kind of got out of control. So it's just about maintaining this, keeping it going. We can see bot lane, TF does have a massive lead. A factor in that, he's obviously up in CS, but also the extra gold you receive. So the initial die that's rolled is weighted towards 6, and the follow-up one is weighted towards 1. So it's not as much gold.
Oh, okay. There's Godzilla Mom. She's making her way in, just trying to clear out the way.
That easy. But yeah, so TF will be getting a ton of extra gold. Obviously, the more crit you get, the more you get. But just generally, TF is supposed to be up in gold, but on top of that, having a lead is really going to become a problem later on.
Well, Sylvie is going to spot that Owner is up here trying to defend, so they're not going to be able to go for a dive.
Look at the items Guma just backed for. He just got Zeal and Clear Chase Shard. It's 12 minutes, and he's only got 2 items. And Fake has Malignance. Ew.
Oh, goodness gracious. So this next fight is certainly one that T1 are going to be very strong for. I'm glad you mentioned it. I think 2-item spikes are certainly things that you can be pretty happy with when it comes to T1. And 1 item for the mid lane, just getting a Malignance, especially now that it's been changed to have that more early game focus. It's feeling pretty good. Sylvie not going to lose his Raptors. So a little bit of positivity there. Drake going to be up in 25 seconds.
Just give the Dragon, honestly. I don't think Nongshim should go for it. Try and get something somewhere else in return.
And it's only an Ocean. And if there's a nice soul this game, then a 3-stack of that sounds pretty good if they can continue to have some control.
I just think the TF is so strong already. The Karma's on a really big spike. Definitely feels risky.
Doesn't feel risky for Dindin, who is just having the greatest of times here towards his top lane. Call me, maybe not in the same spot as he flashes for the Shattering Strike, but now Sylvie in perfect position once again. Magnet Storm coming down, but not really doing too much because Faker not quite there to offer too much damage back. And Gumiyushi's ghosting, trying to get in range for this Destiny as they now look for Sylvie. He's an opportunity, but the quickness does come down. Seismic Shove, just gigantic with Call Me over the wall. And there's the Vault Breaker as Owner goes back in. They're able to grab the kill on the jungle. It's a big shutdown for the Twisted Fate, but now Dindin is going to turn up. Carrier gets into position, and now it's Peter that needs to be their hero. Gumiyushi goes down in the fight. Owner surviving for so incredibly long, and Peter will just catch a stray Q there from Faker, as Owner might have to go for a bit of an execute, but I think it is going to be achieved, and there he goes. Jiwoo just by himself towards his bottom lane.
Such a scrappy fight there. I honestly think that T1 overcommitted a little bit, but it still ends up working out mostly because of Faker. I actually want to track how many mantras he got to use in that fight, because I think the value was a little bit absurd.
Yeah, it turns out you can... The Malignance was nerfed a little bit, especially on Corki, because of course the interaction with the Eclipse is no longer there, but it looks like Karma is still making great use of it.
Still doing pretty good. So in this situation, just a normal Q there. Oh, do you see the Smolder nearly dying in the bottom of the screen?
Yeah, even had to call his mom, and his mom wasn't really able to do too much.
Yeah, actually,
this was a really nice shot.
The first mantra actually missed, so it kind of delayed Fake getting it back sooner. But then hits one there, kills the Vi, and then I think gets another in a second to kill Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one, yeah.
Wait, there's another one, and then wait.
And then
there's another
one.
Back to back. Wow. What a champion.
So the base cooldown on it at the moment is 22 seconds, and he was able to use it within 4 seconds, I think, in that fight.
I mean, the thing there is he hit the Mantra Q, and then the explosion after also hit, so that's another refund. And the W tether hit twice, which is 20 seconds reduction, and a couple of seconds of waiting. Yeah. So, pretty obnoxious in those early skirmishes, and we do end up seeing the Dragon being picked up by T1. Don't think that's too much of an issue, because Dundun doing very strongly in the side lane, and you still have the scaling Smolder.
Yeah, so feeling fine, but I could imagine that T1 probably just looking to try and get another battle like that before, you know, the window of the Karma is going to close. Because, of course, it doesn't necessarily scale phenomenally well.
Yeah, and honestly, being a Chemtech Soul, pretty great for Nongshim, because there's just a lot less pressure. You know, if this was a more powerful Soul, I feel like 2 dragons, like, okay, we have to work out how we fight this on that third, and I feel like it being Chemtech means you can be a little bit more lenient, you can chill out a bit more, and if you don't feel good about the fight, it's not a big deal.
And also, healing and shielding power, if you're an Udyr, feels pretty good. So if they are actually able to stack this up a couple of times, it certainly would be good news. T1 also pretty happy with the Melio there. Moonstone is now completed.
Tenacity, actually, if Nongshim stack up a bunch of those Drakes, the tenacity value against T1, pretty big. But we'll see. We'll see how that ends up playing out. For now, T1 trying to set up around the mid lane and look to pressure this turret here. It is Nongshim who have the Herald in pocket, but I haven't really seen an opportunity to use it. And you can see here, Smolder's kind of at this point where you can just really one-shot waves, so very comfortable.
Yeah, looking pretty happy with how this game is going right now. But probably wanting to wait a little bit longer. Haven't done a stack check. Haven't actually looked at it as, okay, there's a Destiny. And Colmy is rooted in place. Still, it's a nice seismic shove onto Gumayusi. He's going to need Carrier's help to try and get out of there. Mom is going to yell a whole bunch now as Jiwoo is sneezing all over them. Flap, 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 and they help knock down the first kill. Gumayusi dead once again. Seismic shove connects. Faker is landing Q after Q after Q with these mantras, but it's just not quite enough to win them these fights. As now Carrier, he's the one running the wrong direction. And Dundun, really nice interruption there. And Carrier's really dead. I think he was going to be dead either way, but it still looked definitely cool.
And Zeus didn't even show up for the fight in that situation.
Well, he's here now. Does that make up for it? I don't know, because I think this turret is still very dead. And there it goes.
153 stacks right now on the Smolder, so definitely approaching. And the fact you're winning team fights before that point, Nongshim doing fantastic. 2,000 gold up. Bear in mind, I'm going to say it again, the TF getting all that free gold is worth a pretty substantial amount. So the fact that they're 2,000 gold up despite that, crazy. And we see it starts out with T1 thinking they're the ones setting up for the pick. A little bit of a mistime from Sylvie, but the ult keeps Cormy away from a difficult situation, and this Udyr comes in. They just don't have the damage to deal with him right now. A great ult from Peter as well, and Cormy's reposition was really solid.
Yeah, really nicely done. I feel like Cormy has been playing right on the edge today, and sometimes it looks silly, but other times really does allow him to eke out that little bit of extra damage. And Dundun is 4-0-3, dude. What the heck is this?
Like if there's any way to describe Nongshim, it's that they're never afraid of looking a bit silly.
Absolutely not.
Dundun has gone from looking a bit silly in game 1 to looking on point in game 2.
I mean, they just don't play with pride. Like, that is just, it's just not something that they really care about. They're like, we're going to do what we can do to win, and we don't care what we look like doing it. And it's really not. Okay, well, this is aggressive as Mom's yelling once again. The CC kind of massive. As once again, Jiwoo just raining hell down upon them. Gumayusi will land that gold card there as Sylvie's in trouble. Faker comes round though, and I don't know whether we like it too much. Nice Mega Cone is going to connect, and Colmy, he finds Gumayusi once again, his third death of the game.
You see how many control wards were in that brush? Just slammed every single one down.
That's what you got to do, and the more wards you do as a team, the more coordinated you are. Yeah. That's the rule.
300 gold worth of control wards in that brush. That's a kill.
Yeah.
Obviously, one was from Nongshim, the rest from T1.
Wow.
But 300 gold worth of wards slammed down there, and we see the play looks a bit scrappy at Fish. You know, you can see Sylvie knows they're strong, forces out cooldowns, ults Guma, and Guma actually throws the stone card on the Vi, so not achieving much with it. It starts to look a little bit painful when the Q is missed there by Sylvie and Faker turns up. But this snipe from Cormy ends up being huge.
Yeah, the big rock into the back of the head. He's going to lock down that kill. He's still 1,400 gold ahead, I think, at this point in time. Just TF things, I guess.
Yeah, just TF things.
But Nongshim might be able to get their first dragon of the game. So they're going to look for it right now. Decent gold advantage, still there, approaching 3,000. And they're going to be able to stop the dragon stacking of T1. Certainly putting a lot of halt into their plans. I think actually denying that, kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
T1 do want to accelerate.
I mean, it's also, we said this game for T1 was very much about being ahead of the curve. I feel like the TF, a large part of his strength is the fact that you get so much extra gold. Oh.
All right, let's see whether Gumayusi can get it. He does. Gets himself out of there. No seismic shove in time.
Yeah.
So the Destiny not going to get interrupted.
That is something to be concerned about, is the map play from T1.
Yep.
But I think Dundun being so strong, really solves a lot of those problems.
Yeah, I feel like it's exactly as you say, because in the last game, it also looked fine, but Dundun was extraordinarily far behind, and as soon as Zeus got into any sort of team fight, it was just doomed. This time around, though, it's if Dundun makes it into a team fight that things are looking... He's got 3 items!
Into a Karma, I feel like obviously Karma has so much damage potential, but what's really important is that you have someone who can comfortably block like the Manta Qs with this build.
Yes.
And you do.
Yeah.
You know, you really do have someone who can just kind of tank these and be fine with it, so...
Imagine if he stacked 4 Chemtech Dragons and had Soul as well.
That would be a big shield.
Yeah, he'd be able to press W and be pretty K.
Yeah.
I think at that
and,
point in time.
I think Jiwoo, last I saw, was close to 200 stacks, so...
Oh, we need to do a stack check.
We really do need to do a stack check. I think should be above 200 now, closing in the 225, and that is when this champion really comes online. Hasn't been the focal point so much. I mean, Jiwoo's been doing a good job. In team fights, lots of solid...
Oh, man, we are 12 stacks away.
Oh, my lord. And Rabadon just came in for Call Me? Okay.
He's ahead of the curve as well. If he gets to 225, and he should relatively soon, he's going to be ahead of that 25-minute mark. Looking very, very nice.
219?
All right. There's 220, so only needs 5 more.
5 more, it's go time. And you can see, I feel like Nongshim are really ready to sort of capitalize on this spike, on top of the item spikes they came in for the likes of Call Me. T1 have to be really cautious here.
They certainly do. Sylvie looking for a possible angle here as he gets over the wall. I don't know whether he's completely out of dodge just yet. Decides to go in. I don't know about that, but the seismic shove is amazing. Gumayusi going down extraordinarily low as Mom yells into the back line. Sylvie manages to get that kill, and now they get the knock-up onto Ona. He's underneath the turret, but I don't think that's going to matter. The Shattering Strike is decent, and my god, the damage from these Mantrid Qs. Another one connects, and Faker just demolishes him. Yeah, that... How long was that on cooldown for? Like
it just wasn't. It just wasn't, okay? It's if mode, apparently. And I'm not going to lie, that was probably just Baron if Faker didn't get that play. Chunks them all out, kills the Smolder there to save the day, but... Nongshim, this level of aggression coming out from Sylvie, it looks like he's going to get picked, and he just says, oh, I can buffer the stun with my ult, let's do that.
Yeah, who's picking who?
Let's go further in instead of trying to get away.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, they're going to see it once again. As Sylvie looks like he's going out.
How are you supposed to expect this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like T1 are like, okay, they're going to try to get away. Nope, Sylvie's just going deeper. The Monk goes over the top. And then, again, this looks like you could just turn towards Baron and go, but this Mantra Q...
Oh, no, and Q actually flashes in.
That's just 3 in a row. Yeah, okay, that's really... just 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Back to back.
I think Jiwoo saw the fact that he was like, I've got the stacks. It's happening, and then he just went way too aggressive in that fight.
Faker really doesn't want to lose.
No, not his
900th match. No, he really doesn't want to. Honestly, you know, I don't think Harry has done anything particularly egregious, but the rest of the team has been struggling. It has basically just been Faker against the world.
That's how they celebrate his 900th game. They're like, Faker, you're the main character in this game. We're going to guarantee that that's the case.
Yeah,
because oftentimes he is just anyway, but he really is this time. Because everyone else is having a bit of a rough one. Nongshim have been pretty obsessive with their targeting of Gumayusi in teamfights and things like that, but Dundun laning very, very well up against Zeus. And Call Me finding some great angles outside of just being in the laning phase. But look at this, 3 items for Faker. He's got a very cool hat, as well as his Horizons Focus and some Malignant.
And the thing is, they haven't actually stacked that much MR. I'm going to be honest, Dundun, I see that cloth armor in the inventory.
No, we don't want that.
I don't have enough armor. Oh,
well, Sylvie's going in once again, and guess who it is? It's on to Gumayusi as he's taking so much damage. In goes Peter, but is going to get interrupted. No one's really going to fall down yet, and now the Karma has them at arm's length. Yes, there's an execute range there that they have to be worried about. They're not worried about it at all as Faker is flashing in to land these Qs. Gets another one. That Mantra is definitely back up again.
It's just always up. You always have to assume it's up. And
yeah,
he's got a lot of armor. He is very tanky, but not too much magic resist.
Oh, what the heck? Every second ability is Mantrid.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
It's problematic. They are, whoa, T1 are going towards Dragon, so like, cool, we'll go towards Baron. The jungler isn't there yet, But looks like they're just going to start this one up. Guys, you're in a Baron pit against a Karma.
And there's a Twisted
Think about
Fate.
it.
So they always know. They will always know. Sylvie going to try and get himself towards the rest of his team. Will be successful as, yes, Ona locks down the Rift Scuttler. And Nongshim, they just want out. They don't want to deal with this. Soul Point goes over to T1. And Nongshim unable to get anything off the back end of it.
And even with T1 now get mid tower as well. So Nongshim really fumbling on the back of that fight. And T1 appear to have regained that composure we typically expect from them.
It's the classic scaling Karma, you know. That's just how it works out, I guess.
Buy some magic resist. I can see Sylvie's going for it, but Dun, you've hit the armor quota. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I also there is the possibility of getting more of these Chemtech Drakes. I feel like a Spirit Visage would be.
You know, in theory,
cool.
But also Kanik Rukin, the shield is buffed by the Chemtech dragons.
Yeah.
So it just ends up being like.
Oh, what? He doesn't have a Rukun yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
What the heck? Why aren't you building the most broken item in the game?
The only person doing damage on the enemy team is the Karma.
I just assumed that he had it.
Yeah, it would have been a safe assumption to make.
Oh dear. All right. Well, that's a whoopsie. We're gonna put that in the whoopsie column.
I think him going these items isn't that bad if he was buying the Rukin now, but I see that Chain Vest in his inventory.
Yeah.
And it's really making me think, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you going for?
It's not a Rukun. All right, well, Sylvie going to be able to grab his team at blue buff. Successfully picked up.
But you is 3 items to Rapid Fire now.
Yeah.
And very comfortably past the 2-5 stack. So is pretty strong, is still very squishy into this Karma.
And Peter is not going to be doing much peeling, right? He is on engaged duty alongside Sylvie. And of course, if they do create enough of a ruckus, then there's a possibility that they don't really need to peel because good offense is a good defense, you know? Or something like that.
I've heard that said before.
Yeah, I think so. As Jiwoo didn't need the Mega Cone because, of course, he can just flap at the sides. He's going to use it anyway.
Keeps himself grounded.
Yeah, I like it. Well, not really. It doesn't really stay grounded. Mega Cones really make you go up into the sky. As Faker says goodbye to the minion wave in an instant.
Yeah, this is honestly part of the issue. It's that you're not really going to make too much headway between the fact that this TF has a static Shiv and this Karma has Qs.
Yeah.
Bit of a struggle to try and push through on these towers. So, but I think just kind of to do test. I know I've talked about this like 36 times already, but just bear in mind, Guma has 4 items, despite the fact he's 1-4-1. And he's not even got particularly a lot of CS. And I know some of them are cheaper items, but it's just kind of the power of this TF that you just cheat the game.
Yeah.
Just get more money.
He actually has the cheapest item in the game, which is the free shoes. There you go.
Yep.
Well, Peter is going to get stunned momentarily. Zeus finds an ultimate, and they just blow him up. Goodbye. Where did Peter go?
Part of the problem, playing the Rakan into a TF, once that stun cloud hits, you are in trouble. And even had Merc Treads as well, and it just wasn't enough.
No, Zeus pressed his R button, and I really like it. Just go for whichever pick you can find. Man advantage on the map gives you control.
There's
You're
no
able to
way
clear
they're
out.
starting Baron, right?
I mean, it's T1. They do like starting Barons, and they have the Twisted Fate, so they have the ability to know exactly what's going on at any given moment. Now that Destiny Gate is up and available.
And the thing is, I feel like Zeus was really far behind early, but he's kind of just done this thing where he farms, and now he is a Yone with items. And that's all you need to do. Level 17 as well, so he is suddenly a problem again.
Yeah. I think they've weathered the storm. It's absolutely true. And I guess, you know, Yone is a large portion of what this team is going to be doing in the later stages of the game, right? He'll be able to add a lot of the extra damage. And, I mean, Faker is so accelerated that I think that he's going to stay relevant the entire time, building towards a Void Staff as well.
I think he's going for the Crypt Bloom.
Crypt
The
Bloom.
Tome is then wants that extra bit of taste. But Dragon in 40 seconds would be sold for T1. Not the most impactful soul, Chemtech soul, as we've talked about, but definitely still something that Nongshim would want to avoid giving over for free.
Did you say more ability haste? I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, I definitely need it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the rapid fire Milio combo. Look at the range!
Oh, that's just absurd. All right, they're going to go for another engage, this time onto Faker, and Mom just lights him on fire. going to be taken down as now Dundun. I don't know whether you win this 1v1 anymore. And yes, he built that extra armor. I just don't know whether it works. Does sidestep the knockup as now Jiwoo is looking to execute them. Takes down Carrier first up, and that's the double. As that's what all these stacks give you, and now it should just be Nongshim heading towards this Baron. Is it happening again? Are they just going to do it again, just taking these games off T1?
Yeah, I guess so. This is why they banned away the Smolder in the first one. You do see Zeus moving over to try and get the soul, but the TP is going to come in from Dundun. They don't want to give anything up to the side of T1. Baron secured.
Oh, Gumushi, I don't know about this. He is just very dead. Well, never mind. He does stay alive for a bit longer. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Still, Nongshim should be able to gather themselves the dragon and deny the soul from T1. Still a little bit given on over. And okay. Is Nongshim now in a position where they can win the game off the back of this Baron? That's the question.
So well played from Sylvie. This whole game in general, but that pick onto the higher priority target. And here, kind of seeing the power of the Smolder unleashed. Flaps over. They do just so much damage.
It is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And also the double flashes being picked up with just one seismic shove there as well. I think Colmy has been a silent achiever in this game, as this was an optimistic move, and I thought that he was just going to be dead. But instead, was able to help lock down that kill with the help of Zeus. So nicely done there, I guess, from Gumushi. But still, he is quite a few deaths this game.
Yeah, you know, you talked about the karma.
Oh god, he's catching up.
Jiwoo is going to overtake in damage this game. I think that goes without saying. And you're looking to use that Baron pretty effectively, trying to pressure this bot lane tower. The wave clear that T1 has, not going to be nearly as effective in the situation, so a lot of gold going to be able to be picked up, and this is already with Nongshim having a significant lead over T1.
Yeah, they're moving. It's about 5,000 gold, the lead at the moment. Haven't broken the base yet. There's still an inner turret resting on the top side of the map. You can see Colmy looking to try and stop that one, as Dundun just pressing buttons in the mid lane. As Udyrs are what to do. 3.5 minutes if we're looking at another dragon. But I have a feeling that's not really on too many people's minds right now.
Yeah.
Rebel Baron power play continuing to stack up. See what Nongshim can actually do. They need to continue playing proactively, though. I think so much of this, like you say, is hinged off Sylvie just going in. And they need to keep that up.
Oh, speaking of which.
Yeah. Possible angle here. Zona not going to get knocked back, but they just guarantee the turret.
But I like the plays that Nongshim are making. You know, they push up mid, they rotate over, they get control of the enemy jungle, and rotate to take that top tier 2. They're doing what they need to do. Oh, Peter?
Peter's ulting.
Yeah, so he doesn't find it. He's prepping the ult, because obviously one of the changes they made with Rakan was the fact that there's a lockout before you can engage.
Yeah.
So you kind of prep it, someone walks in, he gets the immediate CC. It does look silly when the window doesn't open up, but Nongshim definitely fishing. You need to be careful now they don't have that ultimate, but he was out of vision, so T1 do lack information on that.
Yep, they don't necessarily know, and it's already 50% done. And so at this stage, with some ability haste,
what a cooldown, honestly. Remember they nerfed ability haste, allegedly? I'm not seeing it.
No, I'm not seeing it either. I think we might need to write an angry email.
Oh, Dundun finally opting for the magic resist.
Hey, nailing it.
Yeah.
As Death Dance completed here for Zeus. And look at Sylvie's advantage. My god.
Look, I still find it crazy that, like...
Yeah, how is Twisted Fate only 50 gold behind?
Yeah, just TF things. But yeah, Sylvie's lead is humongous right now. And look, both Jiwoo and Guma have picked up the Seeker's Arm Guard. And both of them could comfortably just build as Zhonya's, you know? Yeah. They have AP ratios. I don't know if you know this, but TF does have AP ratios.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, there actually used to be this build people used to play where it was AP TF.
Whoa.
Yeah. Bit of
is that sort of like that old thing, the AP Scion back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, I guess point and click stun.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Say that checks.
And then walk up and blow up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Good fun. Fun and interactive champion, the old Scion. Very sad that he got reworked.
I do think the new
being
Scion,
sarcastic.
They did a pretty good job.
The new Scion, absolutely fantastic. The fact that you can drive him around, brilliant.
Yeah, but now everyone can enjoy that experience with the Rift Herald.
Exactly. Everyone can be Scion.
Scion walked so the Rift Herald could run, but I mean, I guess they're driving, so...
Yeah. Scion walked so the Rift Herald could be driven. That's exactly right. I think that's the saying that everyone says. 6,000 gold is the lead for Nongshim as we crest the 36-minute mark. And they have, theoretically, the stronger scaling draft here as well. So T1 certainly on the ropes, but they haven't lost a Nexus, an inhibitor turret yet. They are just holding on. And if Nongshim do make a wrong move, then, I mean, it's still T1, right?
Oh,
and they do have that coordination in team fights to make stuff happen.
I feel like it's been such a good game from Nongshim, and
they deserve to win, 100%.
They deserve to win this 100%. But also, I am so concerned.
Yeah, same.
Now,
like maybe Faker just mantra Qs 3 times and they all died.
Well, he has been doing that a lot. That has been his calling card this game.
Yeah.
RQ, RQ, and then once again, RQ.
Yeah. And Gumiushi also has 6 items as Peter.
I think it really comes down to Jiwoo because he has Cleanse and he has Seekers. So it's very hard to kill him because you can cleanse the stun
He's got double cleanse, actually.
Yeah, he's got the kills as well. But, like, you know, if hard CC comes in, he can cleanse it and then he can easily use the arm guard to survive like a Yone or something. And I think as long as the Smolder's alive, hard to see them losing a fight realistically.
And Sylvie, he's once again on the prowl. Zeus looking for that flank angle, and you can see Nongshim. They have an idea that this is happening, and they know that he's very far away now. Just walked over a control ward. They look for a potential engage angle. As Sylvie, not actually losing any health at all.
410 stacks, by the way, on this Smolder.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Skew is going to hurt an extraordinary amount.
They're looking. You can see they're fishing.
Yeah. Skew continuing to just sneeze many, many times. All right, here's the angle. When's Mom coming? Oh, God. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, you can see Gumiushi also was looking for that gold card. He can, like you say, engage from an extraordinary range.
Yeah, I love that Carrier has been using the W specifically to, like, buff the gold card range, so it's just ridiculous. And actually, Sylvie, you could be in trouble here. You have to be really careful.
And T1 are just going to walk towards this Baron. It goes down extraordinarily quickly. Teleports are coming in. And Mom is going to yell. Gumiushi taking a fair bit of damage. There's now Peter with the quickness running. Zeus over the wall is going to blast cone his way out. And he did buy a fair bit of space. But now Dundun is in the backline just booping and booping. As now Ona has to get himself over the Weaver's wall. And T1, they keep themselves alive. Nongshim still looking for more though. Ona with the Shattering Strike, and he might fall. His health bar is extraordinarily low, but now Zeus looking for the angle. Dundun just hitting things as Jiwoo. Perfect timing on the arm guard. Call Me doing exactly the same thing, blocking the ultimate. And now Gumiushi, he's going to do the same thing. Now Faker is in trouble as Dundun has got on top of him, but it's the Smolder that locks down the kill onto Gumiushi. Faker goes golden to the very last second, but he's likely to fall the Inspire Shield, buying some time. And actually, with this Mantra W, he's just surviving. This is ridiculous, but it doesn't matter because he's out of the fight, and they lock down the kill onto the unit.
He's still going.
He is still going, and he's able to slow down Sylvie, then Mantras again, so he's immortal. Is Sylvie actually going to be able to kill him? We're just not going to watch, I guess.
Ult's up now, so he just has to burst with the ultimate.
Yeah. He just has to do that.
It's that simple.
It's that simple, guys. That's how you do it. And now Faker's going to channel the back. As you can see, Nongshim, they are just winning the game right now. He's going to opt in for the teleport to make sure that he can get back to his base. And
yeah, Fake has the wave clear. Matt, you know, everyone on T1 flashed away in that situation. This was such a hectic fight. So many mechanics on display. And you can see Nongshim trying to trap T1 in there and triple flash to get out. But I think the moment really Jiwoo stood out. Oh, we get a Baron play as well, but I think it's fine. But the cleanse coming out for the gold card.
All right, we're going to go straight onto live here as Gumiushi going to get the stun onto Sylvie. That's high value, but the flick back onto Ona. He's going to explode as Mom flies over the top. And now Dundun, he'll be stunned up. Man, Turtle Stance giving him the most gigantic shield ever as Carrier going to get caught out by the seismic shot, but there's the Inspire Shield from Faker. He's keeping them alive. Zeus as well is burning. Carrier was also...
Look, it's not okay that he's doing such big Mantra Qs and the shields as well. He's got the most damage in the fight and the most shields.
Yep. He's just keeping them all alive all the time, but not going to be able to stop this Baron by the looks of things because Carrier is limping around the battlefield. Still, these Mantra Qs are so scary. Into the backline goes Zeus! Finds 3 with the ulti, and then rebinds the soul. But the result is a dead Yone and a dead Twisted Fate. I think Nongshim have done it. Faker Faker is going to get routed, and he tried so incredibly hard this game. His karma was like no other. But I don't think it's going to be enough as Dundun is running after Keria, who does have Mega Cone opportunity. But I don't think he runs as fast as
once
this.
again,
there it is.
CC immune through the Mega Fire Kick, and Jiwoo, honestly, I feel like
just flapping around, and there is the ace.
We were hoping for the Jiwoo source today, and he has delivered. I feel like he's been playing these team fights so flawlessly on the smaller, so patient, avoiding engage opportunities. He dodged the ult from Zeus. He was the one.
That arm guard was probably the game-winning moment there for Nongshim. Gorgeously played, and
didn't really get that same pressure for the bot lane that we typically see from T1. So I wonder if they will re-examine it. And also, we sometimes get this thing where one team wins a game with a pick and looks super broken, and then they go on the red side, and it's their first ban. They're like, no.
Yeah.
We know how strong this pick is. We aren't letting you first pick it. We'll see if that's how it pans out here. Or maybe T1 just decide to get rid of it themselves. They're banning away the TF, so regardless of how things play out, will be a different pick for Guma.
I think that's a mental victory as well, because Jiwoo actually looked great on the Twist of Fate, and Gumayushi just came off a loss on it, and then you see it banned, and you're like, ahaha, there it is. But TF and Smolder, both of them just taken away.
Yeah, I guess I just return into their Game 1 bans. Let them play the Smolder for 1 minute, a little fun game 2. We won't let it happen again. And actually, Zeri, so fully targeting Jiwoo's pool. A lot of respect here.
Yeah. But a lot of things still left available, right? Like, the Senna is up, Varus is up, Lucian's up. Like, the bottom lane still has all of the champions we're used to seeing. It's just the Jiwoo champions, I guess, on this patch are just being banned away.
I guess this is probably just a Senna first pick in this situation. And now, I mean, Jiwoo's definitely a player who I feel like has the champion pool. Isn't going to struggle too much from this, but can they bring something out that gives them the same level of success as that previous game? And the problem is, if this game goes late, you're up against a Senna, which is obviously very problematic.
Yeah, and we saw Nautilus actually banned in the last game. Peter had a great game on it in game 1. Well, a great early game, and then the mid game was a little bit rough. But if he ups the consistency, I think it looks good. It's once again the blind Talia from Call Me.
I mean, he's had such a good performance. I feel like if aim broke, don't fix it.
I think the Karma is probably a good choice here for Faker as well. I wouldn't mind if he went back to that. He was pretty good.
Yep, seemed like he had a decent time in the matchup and was getting so much value in those skirmishes. Gonna early pick up the Tom though, so wanting that safety net for the backline, not wanting to see how things play out and go for the Ornn.
Yeah, last time it was the Lee Sin that was picked up second round, and the Hui was also locked relatively early in this draft, and it is once again going to be what they opt in for.
Yeah, so this is kind of problematic because now you have this composition with such long range and power combined with the
just do it.
Tahm Kench.
Oh, I would like it if Jiwoo played his amazing Nilo.
No, cool. I feel like he's just showed like every 80 carry in the game.
Yeah.
Hard to comment on them. And then it ends up being the Varus, which has a lot of versatility. Obviously, able to match the range if it's going to poke Varus or some of these champs, but that'll really depend how the compositions pan out.
And actually, I don't think it will be poke Varus. I think most of the time when we see it with Nautilus, it is the on-hit version. And they will have a fair bit of consistent damage with that. I don't mind it at all, but
I just think it's hard to play into Hui.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to exist and stand there auto-attacking stuff.
True.
Shooting a Q from 3 miles away kind of matches the Hui vibe. So we'll see how it ends up panning out. Regardless, we see the Udyr banned away from Dundun, which is obviously
I wonder why they banned the Gnar.
Yeah.
Weird.
Also, K'Sante's still open, Vi's still open, which Sylvie had such a fantastic game on. But obviously, the Tahm Kench, I think, is probably enough of a mitigating factor to discourage the Vi from Sylvie, but...
Ooh, this is actually really cool, though, because now they'll get either the Vi or the K'Sante, or both, I guess, as this has to be a K'Sante pick, right? For Dundun?
I don't
Give him something that he's not going to struggle with?
Because the thing is, I'm not sure how scared you would be off Zeus taking K'Sante, because as much as K'Sante is really strong, it's less problematic than some of the other picks that he could take that would opt you. So I think kind of pick makes sense. They're going to go for the Vi again. So obviously the Tahm Kench is fantastic against the Vi, but you can just target the Tahm Kench. And it looks like Zeus might just go for the K'Sante, which again, you get K'Sante, it's pretty great. But if they do go for that, it's less scary than if Zeus had the Gnar pick which just kind of ran over the game?
I mean, I don't know, because I've seen Casante's...
Casante will always Casante, but Deus Gnar, I mean, I know the Gnar's banned, but a pick like that is very scary.
I think it's all scary, to be honest. So we'll just have to see what can happen in the play from Dundun to make it work.
This feels like the sort of situation where Dundun's going to bring something like Garen out. I don't know why. It just kind of feels like that vibe.
Oh, I want it though.
Do you?
I want
the
it
last
real bad.
Garen that we saw? I'm not sure.
I mean, you flip the name upside down, and you flip the result upside down as well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I hope
from Dudu to Dundun. From a loss to a win, know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bit of a weird one they go for the Nocturne here. So I feel like, you know, as much as they had the long-range, safe backline...
Oh, that's not Garen.
It doesn't really fit in with the Nocturne who wants to be diving in, but they do obviously have long-range follow-up abilities with the Senna and the Hui. And Dundun's thinking of just going for the Poppy, which isn't the Garen.
And it's not Garen, but it will be Poppy.
Honestly, probably a bit more of a stable pick than the Garen.
What about Vitop?
We've had one LCK game ever of Garen, and I'm going to be real, it kind of stunk.
I also, I don't know whether we're going to have another one, which is a little bit of a shame.
Is it?
I think it is, because I really like Garen.
You know, give it another 14 years.
We'll see whether he does get reworked or something.
You know, yeah, I'm sure they'll do something. Maybe they said they're going to make Runans available for melee soon, so maybe you'll be able to ult and 3 ults will come out, you know.
Whoa.
Who knows?
Or spin and like 3 Garens come out.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Whoa, that'd be the best.
Every time you spin, there's just more Garens.
yeah. Until you've just got a full team of Garens and you're actually like basically playing StarCraft instead of League of Legends.
That's the goal. That's definitely the strategy.
Yeah, and we'll see whether it's StarCraft 1 only 12 units can be in there, so you actually need to create control groups of Garens in the game, and you attack move them into different lanes. Oh, glorious.
And the Garen universe is really taken off.
It's really popping off. In my head, it entirely exists in HD.
I'm not going to lie, Max, sometimes I just feel like, you know when you like get a view into someone's head, I could just see a Garen spinning around.
That's basically it, yeah. That's the entirety of it. It explains a lot, to be honest. And we'll just have to see whether T1 will just do it once again, where it's just the 2-1. They have the blip, and then they take down Nongshim, or whether it's the other timeline, whether Nongshim Red Force are able to take advantage of a T1 preparing for a telecom war and just beat them in Game 3. Let's jump onto the Rift.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are. Players making their way out onto the Rift. Is that the more goth-vibed Poppy? It is. It's a bit of an old skin, but I like it. It's a goodie. Is that Blacksmith Poppy? I think that's the one. I don't know. After a rework, it's harder for me to recognize.
Yeah, it's really hard to know. I'm still not over what they did to Lollipoppy.
Do you think it's a bad thing or a good thing to not give everyone nightmares?
I think it's a bad thing. I think that was an iconic skin.
It was, definitely. The splash art, though, is the main thing that I'm bothered by.
The splash art's the main thing,
like,
yeah.
The splash art was so scary.
I think in-game is better than the splash art.
And when someone has like a toaster computer as well, and you're looking at that splash art for like 15 minutes before you get into the game, oh god.
We deserve like a RP payout for that, I'm going to be honest.
No, seriously. I actually I almost lost every single one of those games. Like, if the loading screen's too long, I just know that it's over.
Yep.
It's just doomed.
That was the old school strategy. Just have toaster PC and run Lollipoppy every game.
Uh-huh. I actually had a friend who had a Poppy-only account who got to Challenger, or the equivalent of Challenger when there wasn't a Challenger because it was a very long time ago, and he didn't have a great computer. So I think, and he played Lollipoppy every game. So maybe that's actually what he did. It was just all psychological damage.
He knew the strat.
Yeah, it's beautiful. As Dundun throwing bucklers around and having a pretty good time. As you can see here towards the top side of the map, doing just fine. And Steadfast Presence going to be pretty powerful into the Cassante. Especially?
Yeah, I think, look, as much as I'm still in two minds about this, because yes, giving T1 Cassante is generally a bad thing, but I just feel like this lane's not going to be, it's going to be a lot more stable. I think having a stable lane for Dundun is more important than not playing into Cassante, which is a hard sell, but I'm standing by it.
We'll just have to see whether it works out, because you could be a genius at the end of this one.
Yeah. You know, if Nongshim win, I'm a genius. If T1 win, I'm not, which is not good odds.
It's not great odds, no. But wait, let's just say if Dundun does decently well in lane after the first 15 minutes.
Still not great odds. I'm going to be...
Well, I mean, it is right now.
It's
He's 4 times the CS.
Yeah.
Cut the video.
Yeah.
Cut the video now.
You know,
the wave just got to his turret.
We can make the statement. We can leave.
Yep.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And it's a Nocturne, so I doubt there's going to be that much jungle pressure going towards the top lane. Generally speaking, probably just going to be farming towards level 6. Call me, don't die.
He's getting reminded of just how unfun it was last time around, as there is the Jaws, and he just gets solo killed.
Man, I told him not to die. I even said.
And Faker had flashed extraordinarily early in that play. Like he decided he was killing Call Me no matter what.
Oh no, he decided like a minute and a half ago.
Yeah, I think so. As Gumayusi, he's also probably dead. Does have to flash to get himself out of the way. And now Keria is just licking Jiwoo over and over again.
That's not okay.
No, it's not. Not very fair at all. As Peter taking a fair bit of damage off the back end. And after that, after it looking like Gumayusi was just dead, T1 kind of win the trade outside of losing a flash.
Yeah, Nongshim trade up in sums, but the sustain coming in from the center Tom definitely outvalues. And you know, we no longer have the safety net of the Tahm Kench early, being able to gobble up before level 6. But one of the concepts that still applies to the center Tahm is that if you focus the center, the Tahm is so strong, if you're just sitting on top of him, you have to respect it. You can see Jiwoo is so afraid to step up, concerned that Nocturne could be lying in wait.
And he kind of was. They just have so much vision towards this bottom side of the map, as you can see. Scattered with wards throughout the river. And that's why Nongshim just pressured out of the way. Zeus, certainly having a rough time.
It's actually getting, I was going to say,
just buckling.
Ooped, but I guess it's a poppy, so getting popped, you know?
Having a roughie.
Yeah. Dundun's just something else.
I don't know what it is. It's like every loss makes him more powerful.
It's
we're going to have a look at this
to place his level, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and you can see Faker just very clearly waits for the last moment to flash the, what's it called, the seismic shove, and then patient with the cooldowns.
Yeah, just QQs.
He just knew.
Picks it up, not too bad at all. And so Call Me limps back to lane, and he's going to see whether he can... I mean, he still has a decent advantage as far as CS, which is nice, outside of the fact that Faker does have a wave coming towards his turret, but not the end of the world. But still, a way that gets too far ahead is really difficult to do anything about, just because he gets to hit you and you can't hit him.
Yeah.
That's a flash lick, and an Abyssal Dive to come on forward as well. The Fear Tether has come on through, and Call Me is really dead. Jiwoo tries to help out as the Dredge Line is going to connect to the wall for Peter, but Dustbringer is down. Owner is a little bit extra speedy. Another Abyssal Dive. That's going to get the flash out this time around, as Keria might have overstepped, but there's the Faker damage flying on through the Tongue Lash. Just barely not catching the backside of the Nautilus. And Nongshim will have to deal with their mid laner dying yet again.
Yeah, and loving the confidence from Keria. He knows Call Me has no flash. Soon as the Tongue Lash lands, confident to go for the play. And seeing a lot more action already than we really got from the Milio game.
Yeah. And I think Keria is just celebrating the fact that he's not playing Milio again. Yeah. I think that it really does go against his style. There's quite a few players here in the LCK that we're just like, prefer not to see the Milio.
If your style is winning, then Milio goes against at the moment. Because I think before that game, he was like 1-9. I think it was on 14.2, he's 1-9. So if you add that on, 1-10.
Not great.
Not looking hot.
And it's been, you know, a few barrel games, a few execute games, and now Keria. I think these are players that want to be going in, and that's exactly what Keria has just done.
That play was actually risky, because if Peter was ready for it, he could have interrupted the Abyssal Dive, but you can see that just like no one on Nongshim expects a play like that.
Okay, Dundun and Zeus going aggressive. The all-out comes through once again, and now Dundun throws another buckler. He needs to get onto the shield. Well, he doesn't really... Oh, the flash forward! He finds the Q, and it's a solo kill for Dundun! Now he'll take a victory lap and head into the death chamber, but the damage has been done.
I just can't understand this player. Game 1, he just gets absolutely massacred. Game 2, he has a really solid game, mostly with help from Sylvie, though, to be fair. But Game 3, he just solo kills Zeus like nothing. On Cassante as well, this champion we think of as being immovable. Well, the only thing that's immovable here is Dundun's mental.
Absolutely, and that has always been the case. But I was not expecting a solo kill, I tell you that much. Drake now going to be secured here by Nongshim. And There will be some grubs going over to Ona. He has 2 kills as well, having been able to pick up the lockdown of Dundun. So it's not like, I think T1 is still in a great position in this game, but I'm just so proud of Dundun, man. I think that you cannot not like this player. I swear to God, you just can't. Because he can have that game number 1 and it just looks terrible as, okay, we've got a cease and desist coming through onto Faker here as Sylvie tanks the turret for way too long. He's just dead, and it's another 1-for-1.
You know, this feels like a bit of deja vu.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you need 4 people, but actually last time they brought 4 people and someone died then as well, yeah.
I think you just have to accept you're going to have to give someone up if you want to make it happen. And Zeus just very disrespectful, walks towards the wall. The ult does give him enough power.
Interruption.
Yeah, it does look tense for Dundun after he takes that Q3. But just ends up getting the value of the buckler. And here the W used by Zeus means he stays on the Q.
Yep. So it was, I don't think that would have affected the 1v1. Okay. But he was just letting him know that he does have the 6. So not end of the world, as we're going to check this out one more time, man. Like, Faker is just playing extraordinarily well today, but Sylvie tanking 2 turret shots was suboptimal.
The main thing is he got the root off onto Sylvie. So one of Wei's abilities, you know, you can put this little field down that when you walk in range. Oh.
Yeah, you can see Zeus opting in for it one more time. Steadfast presence, pretty powerful. And Zeus going to realize that that's not going to work out. As okay, Sylvie gets a bit of a jump scare, blocked, not able to get over the wall, feared and dead. Faker's Way is now 3-1.
Yeah, and it seems like Ona was a little bit upset with the outcome of the previous game. Wants to get some revenge on Sylvie. Yeah,
and it worked out. And Sylvie just going headlong into a brush and not really liking what was in it.
Only a spooky champion to find in a brush. I feel like Fiddlestick's also up there.
Oh, wrong skin though. He's not playing Spooky Nocturne.
True.
Really like that one. Was that the first Hallow's End? I think it might have been.
Maybe?
Oh no, it wasn't. It was the second one.
How do you remember this?
I liked Spooky Nocturne.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm just, you know, I can't really place, like, I know there's skins I like, which are like Halloween ones, but I can't place which Halloween.
I know that because I always regretted not getting the... Okay, never mind. Here is the cease and desist into the flick back, and can Faker get a kill this time? The answer is no. This time, he's not close enough to the turret. So Sylvie is going to be able to help Colmy get himself a kill, and that's 2 now for the Talia, kind of getting back into the game.
It feels like a good strategy. Go mid, press R on Faker, and then kill him. That generally seems like a good one for Sylvie to keep executing on. Picked up some kills there. And
Faker actually didn't have an opportunity to splash there either.
Nope, it was really well played by Sylvie. Here, yeah, just an unfortunate one. And you can see Ona's trying to create issues by getting into a body block position, but unfortunately Sylvie just kind of wants to queue before the fear takes place and doesn't get over the wall.
Yeah, Vault Breaker flash. Not a whole lot that Faker can do here.
Yeah, call me a little late with the E, but main thing is getting the seismic shove in time, so still fine.
Yep, beautifully done. Chance of corruption here towards the bottom side of the map is now Carrier gonna have to flash. Gets out of the way there. Faker's very low as Colmy just eats the ultimate. Dawning Shadow does keep Faker alive. I don't know quite what happened there, but Colmy definitely finding a really good combo.
Yeah, can't go for more, can't look for more action there just because Ona having the ult makes him a big threat.
All right, Dundun and Zeus fighting.
It's kind of turned on its head.
This is intense, man. T1 still have a gold advantage, but 1,000 gold. I mean, what does it really mean? I guess they're the team that has the Hui and the Senna, which is going to mean the late game is going to feel pretty good.
I honestly think based on the CS difference, it might just be the majority of the leads in the jungle.
I think you might be right. And Hexplate already done here for Ona. And if you can see the amount of items completed by Sylvie, that would also bode it ill for that jungle matchup.
Having the Hexplate and having the 80 kills, so you have ultimate hunter stacks, you're going to have access to that ult really frequently, which is problematic in this game, especially when you have a lot of power and picks for Nongshim, you know, playing around the clear wall, around the Vi, around the Nautilus. Nocturne is going to constantly be a threat. You're not going to have any windows where the ult is unavailable.
Yeah. All right. Zeus and just hitting each other with abilities and things. Once again. And Faker clears out a wave. Colmy shoves over towards him, and I think Colmy's in a good spot right now, able to threaten side lanes pretty consistently with the fact that his wave clear is really online. But you can see T1 also playing aggressively, not going to find the Chains of Corruption, but it doesn't matter. The center just explodes. Ona tries to get into the back line, but Peter's there with the dredge line, and Jiwoo is just raining arrows down onto T1. They're in the equalizer, the flash forward, the seismic shove, and Peter's landing hooks all over the place. Nongshim, they crush them.
Oh, Nongshim just the best team in the LCK?
I think they might be the best team in the world.
They look so cracked there. Honestly, so well played. Okay, Jiwoo missed the ult. That's the only mistake. I'll give that one. But everything else, they look for the engage. They get on the right targets, and the peel comes in. Everyone doing exactly as they needed to do. And a 4-for-0 into a dragon take. That's going to replay. So the ult's a little bit ambitious from Jiwoo, but they get the lockdown. And bear in mind, the Tom isn't here yet. So they kill the center. They get the peel on the owner just as the fear comes in. Carrier gets, and then watch Peter here. So the ult comes in onto Faker and then flashes to get a triple knock-up.
That's so sick. Anyway, Dundun and Zeus are now fighting as he just stands there. Steadfast presence says absolutely not. You are going nowhere, and the Dawning Shadow doesn't do enough.
It was just a stand-up, both of them just kind of posturing, and the puppy won.
Oh. And now another hook is going to land. And is it happening? I think it's just happening. Carrier thought that he was going aggressive, but instead he was going to his grave. Oh, never mind. He's Tom Kench. He just eats the great health, and he should be all right. Ona going to try and get himself out of there. Speaking of getting out of there. Yeah, and he actually took the arrow, but it just didn't do quite enough damage. And okay, there's Paranoia, and now we're back to T1 finding themselves some picks, although Sylvie kind of here, but maybe he is just more food, as he does have to flash, get out of the way, Vault Breaker as well to avoid.
Way's still a problem, and I think it was Fake who got that 700 gold shutdown, so... Not great.
Right, well, Nongshim still have a slight gold lead. Oh, and Peter pressed R. That was cool. And Abyssal Dive going to come on through here. So Peter doesn't have flash. He's going to get gobbled up and spat at towards the turret. Does find himself a hook. And Jiwoo just not enough damage to actually do too much there, as the health actually is going to go back. The shield is gone onto Carrier, and Jiwoo just stands his ground, able to fire back. And now Weaver's Wall to come in. Oh, he's actually interrupted. Still, the turret is going to go down, but not before Faker gets in here. Gets the flash out from Jiwoo there. I think if he was caught by those jaws, he was dead. Colmy finds another seismic shove. This guy's Talia. Like, you understand why they're blind picking it. Even though he gets solo killed in lane, it has been very useful.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, rough moments. I think there have been rough moments throughout this series for Nongshim, but they are really giving us a fight on this one. It's been such a chaotic game as well. Just fights erupting everywhere. No real break in the combat. I swear I have an edge, but it's razor thin.
It is, and the result of this game, in my mind, doesn't matter for Nongshim fans. They've already won.
Yep.
They've just already won. This team they're playing so incredibly well, and they've shown us that they have this. Like, this game is possible for this team.
Please don't just play like this against T1 and then no one else. You know, and that's what everyone wants, is for Nongshim to continue this level of play beyond the series. And in this game.
You remember week 1. They came out of the gate and they were first place, Orcs. They were first place.
They started so strong.
And then it all kind of went downhill from there. But if they manage to find this, if this is going to be the answer.
I mean, we saw the graphic after the last game that they showed on the space where,
bit of a hook connecting here. Gets knocked up as well as the Paranoia comes in. Good flash from Carrier to make the overcommit happen, as Cease and Desist is going to be spell shielded by Ona beautifully. And now Zeus, he's looking for an all-out angle. Let's see if he can find one there as he pulls in the Poppy. And I don't think that Dundun's going to be able to survive. Well, he will survive for a very long time, but he is still dead. And that kill goes over to Gumayushi. T1, they find their pick, and they even out the gold.
Yep, Colmy wasn't there, did have the ult, but opted just to get some pressure on the tower. Not sure if the ult was actually available at the start of that fight.
I imagine Dundun was calling pretty early on, like, I will sacrifice myself, just save yourselves. As Abyssal Dive is going to land onto Jiwoo, taking a lot of damage there as well. Devour going to be used aggressively. Ona taken down extraordinarily low as, oh, he's spat out on top of the Nocturne, and he's able to get the arrow off, but still it's a double kill for Faker. Colmy is now trying to find the seismic shove, but he won't get a good hook from Peter though, but Carrier, can he stay alive? Yes, he can, because he's Tom Kench. He's practically immortal, and the Tongue Lash going to get the stun onto Peter as now Dundun, he's back in the battle, but there are just not enough teammates to keep him alive. And a whole minion wave is going to crash into this inner turret on the bottom side of the map. It is chaos, and T1 are coming out on top.
Yeah, out of nowhere, they picked up gold lead, and this was really unfortunate. Dundun's stun just is a little bit late. The flash comes in from Carrier, the turnaround's there, and it just kind of erupts into chaos. I feel like the main takeaway is the amount of value Fake is getting here.
Yeah.
Gets the long-range Q there on 2 targets, and you know, he just keeps pumping out damage, and he keeps picking up so many of these kills over the course of this passage of play.
It's ludicrous. We're going to have a look at the re-engage once again, as Carrier just always finds an engage angle.
Guys, we can't do replays. There's fights every 2 seconds.
Yeah, we really can't, as there's the Despair connecting, but it's not going to be the end. In the picture-in-picture, guys, the replay is the thing that we saw before. And Colmy, not going to be enough, as Faker just going to paint it.
7 kills now on this way.
901. 901 was the game. 900, it was almost the game, and he almost did it by himself. But now, 901. I mean, this post-900 games Faker is pretty good.
He's turned over the Sentry, and he's like, you know, new Sentry, new me.
Yeah. I'm just going to be the greatest that there ever was at throwing out a million abilities,
definitely
and
a new
people dying.
For Faker.
Do you know, ever since he crested that Sentry, he's built Horizon Focus.
Every game, yeah.
It's crazy. See how long he can keep it up for. As Colmy has decided that split pushing is going to be the way, because he just probably wants to get as far away from Faker as possible.
I just feel like Nongshim as a team this series have had so much killer intent.
Oh yeah.
Like whenever Guma just decides to exist, they're not happy with that.
No. They took personal offense to it, I think.
Yeah.
As Dundun throwing bucklers around, pressing Q, and just
like
interrupting and things.
I feel like it literally achieves nothing, right?
Yeah.
But he'll still do it anyway.
And he sends a message.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you tried to dash?
Don't dash
See,
on
you
my
can't
watch,
do that.
You know, no fun allowed when I'm about.
That's illegal.
At least when they're trading, you can justify it with grasp stacks, you know?
Yeah. I wonder how long it's going to take Dundun to build a Rookan as well, because I feel like this game, it's also a pretty good idea
in fact,
to have
I
some
would
magical
honestly
resistance.
say even more so this game. Like last game, the Karma was doing a lot, but not so much to Anudia, I feel. Still
maybe he just read the patch notes, and it said Rookan was nerfed, and he's like, oh, well, I guess I shouldn't ever build that item again.
Yeah, I think until they say Rookan removed, I think it's safe to say he's still going to be pretty good.
Or maybe if it was 5%, or 6% less instead of the 2%.
Yeah, 2%.
It really does feel a little bit like, we're getting, see guys, we nerfed it, but actually nothing really.
Yeah, still has the highest MR in the game.
Yeah. And you get to double dip on it because you get a shield.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Nongshim do have some vision set up. That is going to be removed pretty quickly. Still with this ward in the barrel of the carbine.
This feels scary. But I'm
it does. Yeah, exactly. Well, Colmy can set up a wall whenever he would like. Oh, the secure on the red buff. Nongshim nailing it. They grab it for everyone. Gorgeous.
That's the real victory here. That's what we're playing for.
Yep. Oh, no, but the Raptor. And now Ona might also be in trouble. Does have a spell shield for one of the many things that was flying his way. That seismic shove wasn't going to land anyway. Another wave pushed towards the outer turret here in mid lane. I just feel like Nongshim did have that moment, but I don't know when it gets better, right? Like, I feel like it only gets worse and worse and worse for them as this game goes on, with this Hui scaling up, and the more the center finds relevance as the game continues, it's going to be so much more difficult. Nongshim don't seem to care or know that is the case, though. They are going to continue to try and find these fights, try and find these red buffs where they can get them.
Yeah, I think Nongshim really are this team who just unfazed. They will keep looking for fights, even if it gets to the point where this Hui and Senna become really big problems, because that's all they know how to do is fight.
Yeah, and look, they can't be a problem if they're dead. And so if you go in and you kill them, then it can be mitigated.
All I
Carrier,
can
of
think
course,
is
does
Sylvie
exist.
playing the Vi and just going to punch Quay and being like, outscale this.
I do like that. Just don't know whether it's going to be a possibility. As Jiwoo does complete the Ginsu's Rage Blade.
Yeah, and actually, you know, there are a lot of tankier targets in T1. Once Jiwoo gets sufficient items, he will start to shred through even the bulkier targets.
Yeah.
Oh, me, don't fall for it.
Oh, I'm a bit afraid. I'm a little bit afraid. Owner is looking menacing. And I don't think that Colmy is going to fall for it. So there you go. Throws a bunch of rocks and is going to exit the lane. Nicely done. A lot of red vision towards this bottom side of the map. You can see Nongshim really wanting to get themselves towards this soul point.
A Hextech Soul would be very helpful.
I feel like that would be a powerful soul to have, yes.
Yep. King's coming out. They know Colmy's on the top side, but Colmy does have TP.
Yeah, Weed as well there as well. So if he is a little bit later to the fight, actually can work out quite nicely. As Sylvie playing very far up, much as he likes to do. And Faker just takes a Hex Gate and just walks at him, yeah.
Okay, Colmy can reset if needed.
He has been in side lanes a lot. He's accrued a 40 CS advantage. Oh, the fear comes in, and Sylvie, the unending despair, he flashes into the brush, will survive from, oh my goodness. Very close to his fall.
Oh,
and his Dawning Shadow snipes him! No vision, no problem, and Gumayusi is going to get rid of the jungler, and that should mean 2 dragons apiece.
I think that might have been the Horizon Focus vision.
Oh, true.
I mean, I'm not sure it was available right at the end, but I think it gave enough vision that he knew where Sylvie had started recalling or close to it.
All right, Faker gonna find the jaws onto
Jam?
Jiwoo, and there he goes. Owner launches underneath the turret and does not care about it. A Devour comes through onto Dundun. Carrier, I don't think, liked the taste of that and is going to move himself back. Dundun pretty tanky right now, but Colmy running out of health bar. And now Peter looks for the hook angle, doesn't quite get it, and look at Faker. He's just standing back, raining hell down on Nongshim. There's the snipe. This champion is not okay, Ox. He just isn't. A hook is going to connect. It looks great from Peter, but I think he might just be dead. There's the double, the flash lick from Carrier. And that is the turret falling down as well. Sylvie not going to be able to do anything and even gets knocked up here as more... Of course, Faker has another ability for him. And he will be taken down. That's a kill going over to Zeus. And T1, they wipe Nongshim off the map, and they're looking for Baron.
On the back of Faker. No other way to spin it.
Nope.
Game 2, he was on form the Karma, but it wasn't enough. Game 3, he's on the way. He's the one scaling up to be a monster, and he has just completely dominated Ono Jiwoo.
Oh, doesn't find the Q, but there's the all-out. And Jiwoo does have flash. He's just going to get back to farming underneath the turret. He's like, leave me alone, please. He will acquiesce in the end.
Faker just has so much confidence on this champ. Gets the damage combo. And wait, so you can see the vision mark above Sylvie's head. Still has vision, still has vision. Yep, sees it. So the Horizon Focus actually giving the vision, allowing Guma to snipe that, and Sylvie not realizing that he was still being spotted out there. And here, just a kind of disgusting damage.
How are you supposed to play the game?
The answer? You don't.
Oh. Black and white, like in grayscale?
As I said.
All right, I guess you just kill him. That's how you do it. You will die, though, and Faker gets his 10th of the game. Sylvie's also in trouble. This might be 11th, as he's down extraordinarily low. There it is. 11 kills. And T1, with their Baron in tow, are looking to try and break open the base. Where even was Faker throughout most of that? I feel like I know he was on the screen, so never mind. Balanced. It's fine. As Ona does go in very aggressively, and then Faker auto-attacks the Varus and he dies. Yeah.
Yeah, and now, you know, I wouldn't have thought they'd be able to end, but I'm honestly not sure with how strong Faker is. They could just siege the towers. They're not going to opt to do it, though. They're going to back away.
Yeah, and I say even, he does have a Rooken, does he? No, that's Zeus.
He has a Negatron Cloak, so a little bit of MR, but not a ton.
He's got a nice cape, but not quite enough. So Jiwoo now going to have to deal with super minions heading up the mid lane. It's going to take a lot of control away from Nongshim.
Things were getting a little bit silly.
Yes.
See, in the damage dealt, like I know it looks like Faker has done
the most damage.
Yeah. It looks like Jiwoo's not too far away, but I feel like a lot of the damage Jiwoo has done has been like pumping into Carrier or
yeah,
or even Zeus. Whereas I feel like, I mean, there are tanks on the side of Nongshim, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it kind of just feels like Faker's just one-shot squishies for fun.
Yeah, and I mean, the result of Faker's large amount of damage is 11 kills in comparison to the 3 of Jiwoo. I guess that can give you some information. 122 stacks is a hell of a lot of stacks, Gumayushi.
Yeah, it's a good amount. Good amount. I feel like when we had the double support item center, we saw a lot less stacks in return for more farm, more levels.
Oh, is this the target you're looking for? Well, it doesn't really matter because Peter's going to hook it anyway.
Oh, they got through the shield. Okay.
Oh, nailed it.
They actually killed the Ruka shield.
Whoa, they almost did like 800 damage.
Yeah, it's going to be down for another 15 seconds actually, so that's a window.
Oh no, they almost did 400 damage. Never mind. I take it all back. Dundun is also relatively tanky. But he's laning one-on-one against a Tom Kench.
They're going to start again.
Oh dear. Yes, Zeus is basically immortal. I think that's just how it is. He's able to dash himself out of the way. He'll be all right as Peter is just tanking damage. Faker is just launching missiles, and there is just no response. They can't do anything about it. Dawning Shadow flies in. That's going to be the cue back. All out from Zeus. He's getting underneath this turret. Look at the damage! And T1, they do not allow Nongshim to win Game 3s. Yes, a casual Game 2 here and there. But Game 3, this is T1 territory. They're going to set to work on these Nexus turrets. And they now have their eyes set towards the telecom war that's going to be coming up on Saturday. This one, I mean, there were some moments. And honestly, Nongshim had a great early game. That it was all T1 from about 15 minutes onwards. And it was just all